for, but that you tried to explain it or define aspects of it that you can't.
Well, all I can do, and all I can do, is describe it and context that were around it, and then my attempt to rationalize it. Right.
Well,
so I think
no, Mike, your
Says
attempts to
shit.
rationalize it don't matter.
I know, I know that in.
No, they look. They matter because two people saw it where they were sober and sane, right? And this was,
So first of all, I have no evidence. I have no evidence that. Hey, Mike, please.
Go ahead.
I have no evidence that two people saw anything. You do. Okay. Guy just called to tell me what God thinks. I'm trying to explain. Stop. I'm trying to explain this to you. I have no evidence, and neither does anybody else other than you and this other person, that two people saw anything or what they saw. Now, hang on. Don't jump in yet. I'm just keeping this narrative going. Now, we've already acknowledged that we don't have an explanation for it. Your attempts to rationalize it don't matter. And when you say that two people who were sober and sane saw it, I have no reason to think that any of that is actually true. I'm willing to take you at your word that you had an experience, but you can't attest to whether, I suppose you can say, well, I don't drink and they didn't drink and so we were sober, but you cannot have ruled out chemical substances. And I don't know how you reached a conclusion that you're necessarily sane, because sane is a terrible loaded word. It doesn't mean, like we tend to use it as if, oh, this person over here is just batshit crazy and sees things and does things and everybody else is sane. The truth is that there may have been either an environmental or chemical or mental aberration amongst two people who would otherwise be considered sober and sane that could account for this. Or there could be a natural physiological representation that is a solution. So we're right back at, you had this first experience with a translucent orb, and you don't have any explanation for it. Stop adding in the things of, oh, we were sober and we were sane and it was otherworldly. Just stick to the facts. So experience one, you are telling me that you and another person simultaneously saw a translucent orb and you don't have an explanation for it. What's experience two?
Those are your words. I came to realize eventually, like, I had to grand over what I didn't know about that thing as being substantial, right?
What's that mean?
And I want to say, I want to say, not that it's unexplained, that it was unexplainable, right? Not with an attempt to re-explain it.
Okay, stop, Mike.
Of all of my attempts, it was unexplainable. And
tough shit. The fact that, Mike, the fact that you couldn't explain it does not mean that something is unexplainable. That is monumentally arrogant. Are you the sum total of knowledge that could be?
No, look. Neither do the physicists, and neither.
What physicist? Name one fucking physicist that investigated this.
No, they didn't investigate it.
Goodbye.
They just gave me.
This is the thing. I'm only actually interested in honest discussion.
Oh.
If you had an experience.
Have you been asleep at all, have you?
Cool.
I had a few hours
Tell me
of
what
kip.
the experience is. It's not
I had a bit of an
up to
early
me
night
to
because
try to
the missus was
explain it
working
away.
this morning,
It's
so
not
I
up to
didn't want
me
to
or
disturb
Dawn
her.
or anybody else to prove, oh, that thing that you saw as a
She's
translucent
sleepy, so I
orb
want to make
was
sure she got a
actually
decent big kip in her.
Because we can't investigate it. Just
Where's
like there
my
were
watts?
physicists who wouldn't investigate it. But
Who's
if I
that
start
task
asking you
for?
questions,
That is for my
the entire
weekly,
purpose of asking the questions
is
for us to get down
right
and distill the facts to what is actually factual, not what conclusion you reached on it. And for you to conclude that something is unexplainable asserts that you have sufficient qualifications, expertise,
packed
and
the
knowledge
interchange for some scalp
to
killing.
conclude that something is unexplainable. Not that it is
You gotta love it.
unexplained, but
I
unexplainable.
fucking hate it, but
And
I have to do the
is
task.
monumentally arrogant and stupid because you
Because
can't do that.
I'm pretty sure
would
all the
require
fucking
you
tasks
to have
that,
omniscience
like the
to
survive
know
so
that
many
something
times, all that
is
bollocks,
without an explanation.
is all
It
locked
also
behind the
flies in
first
face
two
of
he
what
gives
we
you.
would normally do, which is, hey, there has to be some explanation for two people seeing this.
Let's good an interchange.
I'll go with you.
I tried and I looked and
It's
I
good, but the
rationalized,
map's a
and I
fucking
couldn't
shit
come
show.
up with anything that's unexplainable. Well, aren't you the big
Some
doodah?
Magnum Buck.
Let's give you a Nobel
See
Prize
if I
for
got a
your,
decent
your
chunk of
skill
meds
in
on me.
exploration and investigation. Hey, you know how many people have called in or sent emails saying, I couldn't come up with an explanation for this, therefore there isn't one. And throughout history, every time we've found an explanation for one of those things that somebody else said was unexplainable, it's not turned out to be magic. It's not turned out to be supernatural. We haven't confirmed any sort of supernatural thing. So you had this experience, and you were going to tell me about two more. But if you can't argue honestly, there's other calls to go on.
Well, and there's another issue here, and that is that, you know, he had an anecdote,
Yeah.
which didn't amount to much. And if you have 150,000 anecdotes like that, they don't add up to anything either.
Yeah, he's going to give us three. And the thing is, if you're embellishing, if you're like, well, I tried to explain this and I couldn't come up with an explanation, therefore it's unexplainable. And the physicists can't explain it either. Now you are in the realm of fucking fish stories. Not that you're fucking a fish. I'm saying the fish tales that people tell of it was this big and I caught it all by myself on 5-pound
Any
test
favorite
line.
is like
It's
a
just,
ribbon
it's
generator.
unexplainable. That's how I know there were angels working on that line to help me get that fish in. Because if I hadn't caught that fish, my family would have starved. We were getting ready. We didn't even have a fire to cook it in. Once I landed it and scraped some of the fins off of it, I looked over and a bolt of lightning struck a tree and a fire formed right there just so my family could eat. Explain that, physicists. That's the thing you're doing. And the thing that sucks is if Mike calls back and wants to actually tell the stories, cool. At the end of the day, we would have three stories, and I'm going to bet money that the other two were of similar nature, because you tend to start with, you know, let's get to the best one, and no physicists were involved in investigating any of it. Now, the difference here is that if two people, if you and I were sitting here and there was a translucent
So that is my
orb
level
that
2
appeared before us,
generator started,
and the camera, let's say the camera didn't catch it, but you and I
which
both
I need
had this
4.
experience. What would your conclusion be?
No, I don't need a level 2 for that.
I'd be very puzzed.
Do need to
I would be
upgrade
like,
that though. Which
John,
means
are
I
you-
need to
are you
find
seeing
these
this
fucking
translated-
survival
But
matches,
I know
which
you're a
still no one
magician,
has up in the
and
play for
you are
buying.
able to pull tricks and things.
The bars for
so
them,
I
but-
would be wondering whether you had fancy magic act.
And yet, but you wouldn't necessarily go, I'm convinced that Matt did that trick.
No.
Yeah.
I forget that everyone wanted to
What
trade
you
them for the
become
fucking
convinced of is the reason why we're advocating
Rivals
for skepticism,
armband.
the reason why we're advocating for critical thinking. If the weird thing would be if you and I were sitting here
It's just that
and
competition
nobody
they
on the
do.
other side of the glass over there
People
saw
who
the
just
orb,
like it.
and the camera didn't pick it up, but you and I both saw an orb.
I was a barter, so it's not
And
like
I
I don't know.
managed to,
It's
you know,
daft to me.
I'm as dumbfounded and awestruck as anybody else, and I managed to
Okay,
convince
that's
you
my upgrade
that
sorted.
I
So what do
didn't
I need?
actually do that with trickery.
I need to go
Now
and
we're
visit
stuck. Because it was a single
Avocado,
instance occurrence that we can't investigate.
Costin, T-Rend, Dino Close,
the
Top
rational
Runs.
course
I
of action
think
that
I
would
know where them
probably take
places are.
Is to get some people in here, look around the room, and also there's curiosities. Like I can see my reflection in the glass right here because we're lit,
Just putting the kettle on back in the sink.
and I can still see the people on the other side of the
Well,
glass.
we're in a glass room, so there's all sorts
Because
of
that's-
crazy stuff going on there.
A lot of people, when they're taking pictures, they'll see these orbs in the pictures, and we've shown that there's a number
Artifact
of
of the lenses, right?
there's a number of different ways that those, some of them are lens flares, some of them are motes of dust, and because the camera will pick them up, but the camera's focus, the focal length of the camera is out here, this part's going to be blurry, and the way film and original, chemical processed film and then digital later processes things differently, it'll look like an orb. There's all kinds of ways to trick it with photography, but he wasn't talking about a photograph, just an orb. Now, I really would have liked to know, hey, what? Oh, did you see that? Okay.
Oh my goodness!
So now
it's unexplainable.
Don and I saw something, and so did the people on the other side. And I suspect, given I am familiar with the people on the other side of that wall, that that's something that Mark did. But I bet Vern suggested it.
Okay.
But
We'll have
I'm
some-
not asserting that Mark definitely did it and Vern suggested. That's the thing. You need to exercise a little caution, and what we are all prone to doing this. And now I actually regret that I didn't just put Mike on hold, because I'd kind of like to hear part of the other thing and maybe see if he gets this. We all exaggerate. And in particular, if you think that you're going to tell a story that might alienate you from other people, you tend to give extra details and to rely on the fact that people consider you truthful. And that if they don't believe you, then they're calling you a liar. And there's a reason we get the fish stories that are the exaggerations. It's
You
because
ready?
something happened.
Alright, Spain.
And while it's
One
probably not
last
as
hut,
extraordinary
so I can
as
make
we're going to make
fleece
it out, we know
for
it'll
my
get more
weekly-
attention. And it'll feel
That's fleece,
like
right?
it's
Yeah,
more
fleece
important.
fabric. Okay.
And because it felt so, seeing this orb felt so important to him, and he couldn't come up with an explanation.
Okay.
That's what we get to.
Interchange.
It was
If
unexplainable.
it
And
is.
even the physicists can't explain it. Nobody investigated this. Mike, by the way, Mike could have been a physicist with all of the skills to investigate this and still would have been prohibited from investigating it because it's a single occurrence event. You can't replicate it, so there's no way to test it. Something happened. I believe that Mike is honestly telling us a story about something happened. Just like I believe people when they tell me they were abducted by aliens, that they had some experience that they are describing as an alien abduction. I do not believe that aliens actually abducted them. We got to get over this. Let me exaggerate this and let me say, oh, it absolutely couldn't be this, because what you're doing there is you're building a fallacious argument. You are ruling out the potential reasonable objections that people might raise and saying, no, couldn't be that, couldn't be that, couldn't be that. But you're doing it all at once. It's unexplainable. Well, here's a little trick. If it's unexplainable, you're done.
Life in Edo, Japan was colorful, interesting, and full of wealth if you were a samurai. These fine purveyors of honorable actions and sword-based mayhem are considered one of the most famous symbols of Japan's history. But they were also the reason why life was miserable, depressing, and poverty-stricken for everybody else in feudal Japan. Behind the stoic Bushido following, the warrior-like mind of samurais was a deeply disturbed psyche that introduced a lot of messed up stuff in medieval Japan. Welcome to Nutty History, and today, let's find out what creepy things were normal in feudal Japan.
Is Killer roam around
Samurais
more at the minute,
flourished and
or is he
rose to be
still
upper
sort of
echelon
roughly around the
Japan's
same spot?
society during the Edo period, they
Don't
became
know, I never hunt
icons
him.
of Japan's social customs and traditions. The top spot on the Japanese
From what I
social
understand,
scale,
though,
he-
lots of
From what I
self-important
understand, though, he
restrictions
does
and
actually run about and
when
shit,
it came
but
to marriage, the samurai kids had no say in the matter of the selection of their life partner. Marriages were prearranged
I'd rather
and
not
were
bump into
basically a
him.
political tool to strengthen alliances. Now you gotta be thinking, how
Only
was it
managed to
any
kill him
different from
easily once,
historical
just because he was
marriages?
running after my
Well,
mate and
what we
ran past me,
described
so I
was
just
just
shot
a
him in the back of the
demo.
legs.
Marriages required not only parental consent,
leg
but
meta
also
seems to be the
consent
way
of
that
the
typically they
dominant
take 'em.
shogunal authorities. These authorities sometimes
Purely
also
because
exercise their power to
semi-auto,
influence
it's the
marriages
most
that they
reliable way of
decide
killing them.
themselves, such as
Otherwise, you
forcibly
have to go for the
marrying two
chest, but that
rival
means you have to
families
take
in an
really good
attempt to
ammo in
seek peace between
because
them.
he has like a tier
Imagine
4 or 5 on
everyone
him, so.
having the right of making
Hard to get
perhaps
through,
the most
yeah.
important decision in your life, except yourself. Obviously, such a system
And it's
forced
better if
many
he's
young
not
lovers
looking
to
at you
take
when
their
you do
own
it as
life
well.
instead of marrying somebody else.
Like a bit into the wipe, it's not too bad getting ammo that's fit to kill him, but early in the wipe, it's, yeah, not a chance. Not a chance. You're just asking the day.
Where do we get?
And we are Emercom.
That's not too bad. That's...
You remember where all these fucking shops are?
I think the most of them are on the ground floor.
Oh, they all are. From what I remember. Oh. Yeah, I
This
would
thing?
think. Don't know. Should
I
have been a
think we looked-
spawn that could get up here already, so I'm thinking a scav, but I would be surprised if any of that hit him, so including my own shot, so his reaction was a bit
Nah.
odd for a scav.
I reckon he'd be sitting in there somewhere.
Seems to have kept on lagging it. Not to blame him, he's probably just trying to get tasks out the fucking way. Might have went through here, this door's open.
Yeah, I think there's a task in there.
I'll leave him alone. We can kill him if you want, but I don't see much point.
I'm not worried about killing him. I'm worried about him giving us a hard time.
He didn't look like he had any really gear on him.
No, you're right.
Is that you running about the back guy?
Yeah,
Ow.
just behind you.
Yeah. Okay, that door does not spawn open, I don't think. Guy on the left. By the main stairs, I seen the gun flash. One in the shop too.
Yeah, up ahead.
Yeah. One to the left.
Alright, I let you go ahead. You let me know if it gets too much.
Where's this fucker? Hey,
running.
you fuckers.
Someone else is shooting him up there.
Yep. I'm seeing the fucker anyway. I'm going left.
Follow you.
Right, let's be very careful because he's through that way somewhere. There's a spawn around there. That's likely who it is. The guy spawned over there.
Whereabouts did you go when you went left? How far?
Between you and that. Between you and that shot.
What about that one?
Someone's attacking him.
We've got someone else in this shop with us, mate.
Yeah, we got one out front as well. I'm pretty sure.
You to my right?
Yep,
No,
yep.
dead.
Shit.
Guy to your right, pistol
Yeah.
runner.
You went too far. You were further up than I was. That's. Okay. I'm gonna follow quick, move my way up as best I can. Think I might see a body. No. How far up did you go?
Again, the shop was between us. The one inside, but he was up along the back corner.
I thought you were further. I thought you were further behind me though. I didn't realize you went up as far.
No. Did you head down towards Techlight direction if you were on the above floor? Or were you up the other direction?
I was still pretty close to the front of the store. I was just trying to get myself in like a bit of cover and get a bit of angle to see if I could see out the front, see if anyone was.
Ah, this guy's at the back of the store.
Oh, give me some stand back, you fucker. Oh. Running and jumping. Think they're about to engage each other. I got one guy running around the right, but I'm pretty sure I heard someone else run and jump into the front. Yep. I hear the fucker. I still know the guy who was shooting at us. Fuck, I would love to have some cheap night vision right about now. Okay, they're about to hit each other. I think I can hear them both like moving at, well, one's moving at the other guy, one's prone. See one of them? He ran to the back of the shop. Don't think he's seen me. One's badly hurt. One down. Was it a player? No, it was a scab. Of course it was. Means there should be a player about here somewhere though. Cause I heard running and jumping near the front of the shop. Fuck it, I'm getting moving. Probably gonna die as soon as I exit the shop, but that guy is not someone I need to kill for any task, so. Yeah, one out to the right. Fuck! Fucking hate interchange.
Ah, it's mad. Definitely bonkers.
It's because of just how fucking dark it is. You can't see fucking anything in it, man. Submachine gun.
I have your Mosin sniper rifle if you want that.
Oh, grand. I've shitloads of gear. It's just don't like interchange. I just can't fucking see anything in it. It has always been my annoyance with the level is you cannot see a goddamn thing in it.
Most of the time I don't mind it, but just sometimes at the start it can be really tough.
I've hated it from the beginning. Purely because of the fact you just can't see in it at all. It's just so ridiculously dark, even during the day. Grab myself an S-lock, night viz. Don't even want to risk it, but I'll probably go on it back in, but at night, and I'll bring myself a wee fucking night viz, wee cheap one. I got a 20 round to renew. going back in.
Right, won't be too long. I just need the magazine.
Change 2247.
You ever get that? You buy something and then it goes into your stacks and it's like, now where did that go? Particularly with ammo, it's like,
Because it fits like in this first small wee gap you have, and especially early wipe when you haven't got boxes and shit to keep everything organized. You lose track of shit a lot, at least I know I do.
Else except their one
sure.
true love. In fact, falling in love was considered a major taboo in feudal Japan, and love stories were only permitted in plays. A particular genre of romantic theater evolved in feudal Japan, concentrated on the sad tales of lovers, ending with a couple taking their own lives in the end. The Romeo and Juliet kind of stories. The act of a
22?
couple killing themselves off was called shinju in Japan, and it was almost always sensational news from the masses when it occurred.
Insurance is
Frankly,
such a
one
pain
of
in
the
the
biggest
ass.
figures of Japanese literature made his entire career on
Right, that's all I can
Shinju-related
afford.
plays.
That's all I.
And this is where the problem began. As Shinju plays got popular, so did the act of Shinju. People were offing themselves, solo or as couples, under the influence of such plays. In short, these plays made the act of killing oneself trendy. Chikamatsu's Shinju plays were considered the biggest cause of the copycat deaths. Shinju mostly depicted stories of young unmarried lovers whose love stories were doomed from the beginning. Other times, they told the stories of a married couple who had to commit seppuku and jigai. Many of you might not know what jigai is, and it makes sense because jigai didn't get the same sort of importance in pop culture as seppuku. Jigai was the rite of killing oneself performed by female members of the samurai family. It focused on swiftness and dignity instead of honor and pain tolerance like seppuku. So, instead of bringing a blade to their midsection,
Maybe a wee
women
bit
would slice their
quieter.
own throat. Some would also bind their
Might
knees
be.
together
Don't know.
so their bodies do
I'd like
not
to think it
collapse
might
in a
be.
compromising
Well, I've
position.
got some cheap night viz I'm
Jigai was
hoping,
performed
because
in case of
it's
bringing shame to the family or to save
it'll
the
make
honor
them,
and
because the
name
thing
of a successful enemy invasion. But the most common reason for jigai was the
I
commit seppuku, and then made up for
it's not a
confusing
bad
sad
map
story for
to
Shinju
most
plays.
people, but I just feel
One
like
source of
it's
Shinju stories was the
too
brothel,
bright
which we will discuss in the next section.
in
as
random
Japanese
spots,
brothels was a Pandora's box
so it
of
means that
kind.
daytime isn't
However,
actually a
it was
daytime run,
always
because
upset
if you want to be able to see like
causing more death.
70% of the
Being
map,
such a
you have
problem
to bring
for
night viz
administration,
regardless,
eventually, they had to outright ban
which
visiting
seems a bit
macabre
dumb
genre
if it's meant to be a
entertainment
daytime run,
copycat
you know?
killings. But the ban itself
Aye.
did not put a stop to the trend altogether. So the
Like, I
administration
get
had
like
to
that's
take
how buildings
further
actually
drastic
work,
steps.
because it's blocked off
Copycat
from light
deaths
sources
were
and
the
stuff, but
non-funerals.
it's just so
If one
as
person,
far
for
as
example,
gameplay goes, I
killed
find it
themselves
makes
to
it
buy,
annoying.
they would be banished from
I can't remember
Japan
what
under
scope
the
it is, but if
charge
you're
of
outside and
murdering
you
their
aim it at the
partner.
building, you can actually see black textures on the
Today,
building wall.
prostitution is considered an illegal practice in Japan, but before 1956,
So you've
it was
intentionally
a
made it
fairly
darker
legal
inside,
practice,
like,
and
regardless of
quite
what
a
it is.
questionable one.
Yeah.
They say.
During the early years of the Edo era, Japanese
Well, I think that was
prostitution
the probably
was moved to the designated areas of towns and cities.
reworked
These
that,
pleasure
because
quarters were separated
I know
by
that was a
water from the
band-aid to
rest
put
of the
on
city,
because they hadn't
and
got
the
the
only way to
shadow
access them was
distance
through
render
an
and stuff
entrance in the
high
walls
enough
that
yet,
surrounded
so
the quarter. Ordinary women were forbidden to enter the pleasure quarter, and male clients had to follow a strict code of conduct there. But all of this security and system wasn't there for the security of prostitutes. It was there to make sure the prostitutes couldn't leave. Prostitution in feudal Japan was actually sex slavery. Due to everybody being poor except samurais and merchants in Japan, the desperate family would often sell their daughters to pay off debts or to gain some extra money. Brothels would draw up harsh contracts for women and their families to sign so that they can make sure the soon-to-be prostitute would never be able to quit and leave. Horrifyingly, most prostitutes were sold by their families at a very young age, and they were expected to begin working immediately after reaching the age of puberty. Venereal diseases were rampant and deadly in the pleasure quarters and constituted the biggest cause of death among prostitutes. They were treated worse than slaves, often died young, and had to go through the horrible ordeal of multiple abortions, which resulted in death more often than not. The most frequent customers of the regulated brothels in the big cities of
Cheap knife isn't so bad, but it's better than nothing.
Percent.
Where's the stairs up?
Yeah, is it over here on the right? I'm not sure about this one. I think if we keep going straight, we'll eventually get here on the right.
There we
and
go,
we
yeah.
can get something.
I
but-
see them. There's one up here. It's basically where we were last time.
But he's already in here, I think. Those doors are
Pro-
not right.
Yeah, no, there's a spawn much closer than we are. I need to get some stand back. Running.
Left side, I think. Yeah, there's a guy along the back wall. He's going to our right.
Okay. I hear him. At the front now, at least one of them is. It's a 2-man, I think. Come on, give me a clear sight. You good?
Yeah, no, I missed him. Going left. Scout backpack. Maybe that wasn't.
Scanning. I had a sight, but he ran behind cover, so I couldn't get a clean hitting him. Don't think it's the same guy though. I think it's more than one. Thank you, Elizabeth. Where is this fucker? Oh, I can hear him. Yeah, I heard him. He's very close to me now. Running. Be a player. Okay, now I'm standing in a pretty dark place. Good. Oh, I see movement out front in techno. Damn it, I couldn't get a clean shot. Alright, I'm pretty much at the exit now. I'm in front of it, but like I'm still in the shelves, but okay, got a dead body over here. That's you coming up behind me, yep.
Oh, I'm dead.
I thought it was you following me this whole time. Got him. I thought that was you following me for the last 5 minutes, dude.
I don't know, I said I'm dead.
I didn't hear you. I was like, oh, it's just him. Like, that's just him following behind. Fuck. How long ago did you die?
Right at the start, whenever I shot at that guy, I missed. There was someone else.
Fuck me. This guy's got AK ammo. What gun did you have?
Yeah, I was using an AK, one of those single shot ones, firing PS.
Okay. I think I got the guy who got you. Let's figure out the back of here. I'll loop around because I feel like there's a fairly good chance with all that fighting I just heard at the exit of Ollie into the main building that someone's going to be camping it. You know, he's going to hope all that gunfire drew someone in and he's going to be sitting there just waiting for someone to peek their head round. Like, it's very much a guess on my part, but I know if I was him, that's what I'd be doing. I would just be assuming I've made enough noise to draw someone into a fight, and I'd just be waiting for them. What round killed you? You remember?
It was by 51, something that you'd fire out of a FAL or something similar.
M80 sound familiar?
Nah, it wasn't, it was something else, it was like a cheaper one.
Ah, okay, it wasn't this guy that got you then. So I killed the guy and he had M80s on him. Scavs are players. That one's half empty, I don't know you. Balls. I just give him a fucking hand away. on easy shot. Yeah, he's probably just trying to get away because for the fucking task. Fucking PS rounds, Scal's gonna take now. These fucking scavs just not appreciate bullets anymore. Honest to God.
No, I think they eat them more than they did ever.
It's ridiculous. Not to get a fucking scav gun at this rate. I'm fairly sure there's a third one of them in here somewhere. Thank you for the spare ammo. It's the least you can do off this I did 5 rounds of the face, you prick. TCWSP rounds maybe what killed you. I think
Is
about it.
that by 51 or something or whatever?
Yeah,
it
it's the same ones that go into the Hunter Val, Hunter
Yeah.
Vapor, and a lot of fucking scavs are on that shit. got one that ran it, and just after remembering that a lot of scavs do have that gun with that ammo. I just remember bringing shitloads of cheap ammo. Where'd you run to, you wee bitch? I hear you. I don't see you, but I hear you. Come on, that one. Dorm rooms 303 south well. Do a loop of shops. Probably end up dying, but fuck it. If I can get a few of these hit now, I'll have to come back in the interchange loads of times for these damn tasks. Yeah, one of them survive interchange like 7 times. I might just put something on the background and sit somewhere safe for 10 minutes and exit for that one though, because it's an horrendous task. Right, that's avocado. Don't think I have to go to generic for any of these for this task, but no. Okay. There's avocado. Iran, Kojin. Don't think I have to go into Rasmussen for anything. Weird that wasn't taken, but I will nab that, thank you very much. Dead bits of the Pestle mask. You don't happen to remember a lot of these shops, are you? Coulda?
I think they're on. Whereabouts are you right now?
Coming past Rasmussen, I just hit avocado.
I think they're around the other side of the store.
I know there's supposed to be like 1 or 2 on this side, but
Attico should be in the middle. That's where Killa hangs out.
there's Top Brand. That's a 2-man. Need to back off. Don't think they see me. Not properly anyway. Damn it, someone else is coming up on me. I'm dead. One or two were definitely players, but like 5 scabs all end up around me at one time.
It gets crazy in there as time goes on.
I should have just kept running. None of them could see me because of the darkness. Oh well. Yeah, hunter around got me in the head.
Edo, Japan, were merchants and samurai. Occasionally, some of these men would fall madly in love with their favorite prostitutes and incur debt or shame by repeatedly visiting them. As love marriages were taboo in feudal Japan, these obsessive clients would wind up meeting the horrible self-inflicted ends which would inspire more Shinju plays. Another ill effect of these brothels was perhaps the first organ black market in the world. Unlike today's organ black markets, which thrive on medical requirements of internal organs and rare types of blood, Japan's organ black market were all about fingers and toes. Japanese prostitutes had quite an uncanny way of showing their devotion to their favorite clients. They would resort to self-mutilation to prove how special their favorite client is. And an amputated finger as a present was considered the highest honor a prostitute could offer to her client. However, body mutilation was also an extreme violation of Confucian-influenced taboos that Japan had borrowed from China. As a result, instead of wasting their digits, high-level prostitutes preferred to buy peddlers or beggars or even corpses. So next time you receive an amputated finger in a pink Kirkland envelope, you know where your
Scab run out the way.
from.
Where do I want to go for a scab run?
Merchants may have been the only class apart from samurai.
I think awkward I need to collect at the minute for
When it
tasks.
comes to respecting, they had none. In fact, merchants were considered one of the
Okay.
lower classes of feudal Japanese society. Samurai were ranked as the highest class, followed by farmers, artisans, and merchants. For the farmers, the social class position came at a high cost, as they were the only ones paying taxes in the entire country. Despite
Going for a
generally
scab
living
if you
in
want to come
terrible
along.
conditions, poverty had
Aye,
been
I
so
just
bad
done one
that
while I
some
was waiting on you,
families
mate.
were forced to practice
Is
infanticide.
yours in cool down now?
Malnourishment was widespread,
Yeah.
and people were stouter because of only eating rice and fish. But none of these classes had to tolerate what the Barakuman people endured. Barakuman were the segregated communities made up of laborers working in occupations that were considered impure or tainted by death, such as executioners, butchers, and undertakers. Even among them, Eda were considered the lowest. Eda literally means an abundance of filth in Japanese, and they could be killed instantly by the samurai clan members if accused of a crime. They were considered untouchables and were outcasted for being impure, just like the Shooter people in Imperial India. Shooter people were still segregated in most parts of India, and so is the case with Barakuman people in Japan. The Japanese caste system was abolished in 1871, along with the feudal system, and yet a 19th century magistrate is recorded declaring Eda as 1/7 of an ordinary person. Discrimination is prevalent in Japan to this day, and people had to hide their lineage to escape it. Shogun Tokugawa Iemitsu created an edict in 1635 that would cut off Japan from the rest of the world for the next 200 years. Tokugawa made it illegal for Japanese ships to set sail for any foreign country and deemed an attempt to leave the country a punishable offense, assigning a death penalty to those proven guilty. Secretly planning to leave the country or returning to Japan after going overseas was also considered treachery, and it warranted execution. The reason behind such harsh and ridiculous laws was Shogunate's despicable attitude towards Christian missionaries and European traders who they considered spies of Western imperialism. In 1639, the Portuguese were forbidden from landing on Japanese shores. If Japanese soldiers found any Portuguese ship, they were authorized to destroy it immediately and arrest Portuguese missionaries, traders, and civilians, and behead them without having to answer to anybody. Any Japanese found converted to Christianity were tortured severely to death to reveal the identities and location of those who converted them. Women were punished in more humiliating ways than men, while men's punishments were more violent. With the first wave of Christianity, 300,000 people had converted, including some feudal lords, but clearly shogunate was against it. The hammer came down hard and swift. Soon, Japanese Christians were tortured and pressured to renounce Christianity, some executed and even crucified. For the next 50 years, shogunate had samurais hunting Christians like wild dogs. And after the Shimabara rebellion of Japanese Roman Catholics, shogunate got the excuse to ban Christianity all over the country. This forced Christianity to become a secret cult in Japan called Kokura Kurishiten as survivors went into hiding. They kept themselves a secret for 2 centuries until the last few years of the Edo era, when astonished Western missionaries rediscovered about 30,000 of them. Do you think we missed any creepy facts about feudal Japan in this video? Tell us in the comment. Discoverers of silk, inventors of gunpowder, and practitioners of philosophy. China is one of the longest-lasting civilizations of the world. But not everything about ancient China was as lovely and beautiful as the silk they produced. Welcome to Nutty History. And today, let's find out what creepy things were normal in ancient China. Being jobless in the modern economy is a downright survival hazard. Basically, it means it's become so expensive that the world needs a revolution to secure a decent minimum wage. You might not want to believe this, but things were not much different in ancient China. In fact, they were so desperate to get a job, they were willing to get rid of their manhood for it. Yeah, you heard right. The Chinese poor were willing to let go of their jewels for the best job in entire China. Eunuchs were in high demand in Chinese palaces as well as brothels because of the inability to impregnate the emperor's concubines. However, as these were high-profile jobs with better than decent living and wages, this was the best shot any poor person had to have a better life without waddling through the mud of social hierarchy. What makes it more disturbing is that a lot of parents would castrate their children at birth themselves. However, if your parents didn't think ahead for your smooth career, it was a decent and fairly popular trend among grown men to castrate themselves. Ironically, it was a ballsy move. The eunuchs also had an opportunity to rise to higher ranks. For example, the duties and jobs of eunuchs gradually changed in the Ming Dynasty. Eventually, unified eunuchs grew so much in authority that empires became wary of their power and influence. Moreover, eunuchs were also responsible for babysitting, teaching, training, and serving emperor's sons who would eventually become emperors themselves. That gave them enough control over future kings, and eunuchs became the real center of power in China. These eunuchs had their eyes and ears everywhere, and just like Lord Varys from the White Throne, they were real-life Lord of Whispers who can make or break the kingdoms with their immense knowledge and insight on ancient Chinese politics. Things got so bad with eunuchs that in the Hongwu Emperor's time, the emperor decreed that eunuchs were kept in small numbers and of minimal leadership to prevent them from seizing power. Desperate and willing to chop their manhood off before casting. During the Ming Dynasty, the number of eunuchs in the empire had rocketed to over 100,000. With so many sacrifices
Башка болит.
stick involved,
Бухать надо
the
меньше.
government was forced to intervene and had to regulate this madness. There was an application process set up to control the anti-phallus mania, and for 200 copper coins, you could get your name on a list of eunuch applicants. They were applying to be a eunuch? Okay. 250 people on that list would get to work for the emperor out of thousands of applicants. Most of these men wouldn't get the job, and they ended up begging in the streets. Sadly, they spent the rest of their lives knowing that they got nothing for thinking with their penises. Ancient China's history is filled with bloody conflicts that were horrifying and downright inhumane. The Chinese fought battles on the total war principle, which means do anything to win the war and annihilate the enemy.
А вот
It
тут
was
друган мой
quite
бывал
common for
точно.
soldiers in ancient China to slaughter enemy soldiers and civilians with no mercy. For example, Bai Qi of Chen killed enemy soldiers by burying them alive.
That poor bastard. Some bad scout was like hiding in the corner, and us three PMC player scouts, me and two other guys, just like started walking towards him. Just waiting for him to shoot at one of us panically so he could confirm he is the bad guy.
And in the evening, you can stuff yourselves on meat. You don't have to worry about going hungry. That was Fu Deng's magic for his army. So, how did he manage to feed thousands of soldiers without food? Simple. A soldier was asked to earn their meal. The only prize they had were the dead or captured enemy soldiers. Fu Deng soldiers would cook any enemy soldier, no matter deceased or living, to fill their bellies after fighting every day. If that doesn't get your stomach churning, wait till you hear what King Zhou did. When King Zhou of Shang defeated King Wen of Zhou, King Zhou killed King Wen's son and used the dead son's meat to make soup for King Wen. Humiliated and humbled, King Wen was so mortified at King Zhou's power that he ate all the soup, despite being aware that the soup was made of his son's remains. What? The Chinese civilization began on the shores of the Yellow River and the northern banks of the river were warm and freezing. It was common among ancient Chinese people to bathe very little, especially not at all during winters. Later, thanks to the spread of Taoism, bathing became even less prevalent in ancient China. The religion made people believe that bathing often can lead to sickness. This caused a lot of odor issues for Chinese people of all classes. Smelly issues aside, the superstition around bathing was also the cause of a massive lice infestation in Chinese people's scalps. However, according to doctors and healers of ancient China, lice were a sign of good health among common folk. These healers would also determine the survival chances of a patient from lice on their patient's body. If the lice were crawling all over the patient's body, the early Chinese medical doctors
Still running around?
he will survive.
Yeah.
If the lice are
Nearly out,
scrambling
though.
all over the body like rats in a bucket,
9 minutes left. I'm just trying to pick up any random stuff we find laying about. See if I can look out and find some dead cunt's body with a good kit on him.
Bonus.
Nothing yet though. Find some dead scabs and knocking about. That's about it.
The next time they visited the bathroom, the doctors promised, they would have a belly full of lice. Apart from lice, human excrements were quite popular among healers in the poor life. Crystal urine and yellow soup made from were some of the most popular medicines among all doctors on the shores of the Yellow River back in the day. Human urine, specifically peed by people under the age of 10,
Oh, impact
was
nade.
popular among ancient
Nice.
Chinese for marinating eggs and fish. What I am about to tell you is arguably one of the most agonizing acts of cruelty against women in the history of the world. Medieval foot binding was the scourge of women in old China. And when we say medieval, we meant rather figuratively than literally. But the tradition carried on to the modern world and survived for more than a millennium. Chinese women, whether rich or poor, were encouraged to bind their feet as tightly as humanly possible, often breaking the feet structure in the process. The goal was to keep your foot less than 4 inches long. This inhumane practice left the foot a crushed, mutilated mound of flesh they called a lotus foot. This wasn't just something that happened. At its peak, almost every upper-class woman and 50% of the lower class bound their feet in 10th century China. And the most creepy and perverse part about this atrocious mutilation was how men felt about it. To ancient Chinese men, these deformed lotus feet were the sexiest things on earth. Foreplay in ancient China was meant to start with a man fondling his partner's broken foot, and they put a lot of thought into it. During the Qing Dynasty, they even released a coitus manual with 48 different ways to fondle a mutilated foot. To make it worse, they didn't just consider it appealing. In records, ancient Chinese men found these broken feet the sexiest part of a woman's body. According to their literature, women shouldn't be shy about showing any part of their body to their lovers, except a broken foot. Women were encouraged to tease their lovers about revealing their feet and play with their emotions. A bare lotus foot was considered quite more erotic than what we call not safe for work today in ancient Chinese literature. Erotic? We doubt it. But not safe for work? We totally agree.
Да ёбушки
Now, don't
воробушки.
forget to smash that like button and tell us what you think in the comments. And if you would like to watch more creepy facts about the ancient civilizations, check out our ancient Egypt or Greece videos.
Yeah, I thought it was you behind me for fucking ages, man.
Nah, I died earlier whenever I whiffed the shot on that fella.
I know, it was just like, once you said that, I was like, oh shit. I like just turned back and just, I was at full creep most of the time, so he didn't hear me. And he just kept like peeking around the corner, looking the complete wrong direction. It's like, yeah, fuck you, boy. You dying today, bitch. Grab that mount. Take it 4 minutes to get what I can out. What do you got? Is that a marker? Yeah, don't need that. Helix, could probably sell that for a little. Do need have time to check that shit. Dead bitch number 1. Nothing on you. Dead bitch number 2. I need you for a task. Oh, needs. Drop that, grab that. Molex. Ah, it's a face cover. Okay. Oh, another dead bitch. Taz, need you for a task. Thank you very much. Another bit. Holy fuck. How many people died out here? Okay, grab that, grab that, grab that. I'm cutting this fucking thing. Give me that axe. Give me that helmet. Don't need anything off you. Med case, do you got anything useful? Probably just a scav running around, but let's just get the fuck out in case.
Today, when we say ancient Egypt, we condense the history of over 5,000 years as if it all happened at once, when in fact Cleopatra's reign of Egypt is closer to us by many millennia than it is from the foundation of Egyptian civilization. Over the years, as humanity evolved in Egypt, they created a lot of rituals and chores which might not be considered normal today. In fact, we might call them outright crazy. Welcome to Bloody History. And let's look at all the weird, creepy stuff ancient Egyptians did, which overshadows our trend to walk like an Egyptian by miles. The ancient Egyptian god Khnum was a busy, busy god. He was responsible for the desert's water, the beginning of life, the creation of gods, and the protection of the afterlife. That's a lot of work. Depicted with a head of a ram as his head, Khnum was also the god of fertility and associated with the creation of humans. The word Khnum in the ancient Egyptian language meant construct or build. Ancient Egyptians believed that Khnum used a potter's wheel to create humans and gods alike from clay, like a china, cutlery, our country. And thus Egyptians of the past believed that they were made of clay, like pottery in their homes. Khnum not only created the bodies of humans, but also built every human's ka, or spirit. The spirit or life force was the blessing of Khnum to keep humans healthy and willing to live. Ancient Egyptians also believed that Khnum created the first egg, and when that egg hatched, the sun appeared out of it. Forget Eggs Benedict, a sun might be more beneficial in the long run. Khnum was a popular god during the first dynasty of the Old Kingdom and was often referred to as the father of fathers and mother of mothers of the pharaohs. Ancient Egyptians believed that the old god Atum created the universe. Much like Lord Shiva in Vedic mythology, Atum was considered the one who was there before the beginning and the one who will continue to exist after the end. Before Khnum came into existence, it was believed that Atum was responsible for creating the first batch of gods. As Atum was lacking a partner at the beginning of the universe to create the gods, Shu and Tefnut, he resorted to other measures. The sperm of Atum developed into his children without the involvement of a woman. The myth perpetrated in belief among ancient Egyptians was that the male seed brings fertility and prosperity. At Men's Feast every year, the general public and the ruling pharaoh would perform a holy rite for ensuring a good harvest and prosperity. Upon arriving at the shore, the pharaoh would remove his clothes and keep himself busy to offer his semen to the river. Whoa, there was no censorship back in the day. You'd get arrested for that today, pharaoh or not. And then the rest of the men would practice the ritual paying tribute to Atum. All I can say is do not even think about drinking their H2O. This was a ceremony held every year to recreate the gift given by Atum to nourish the Nile. Everybody knows how much Egyptians of the past were obsessed about the cycle of life and death. Their fascination with scarabs or dung beetles was also related to this obsession. According to entomologist Eve Camberfort, ancient Egyptians saw scarabs emerging with a rolling ball of poop and disappearing in the desert as somewhat akin to the sun coming out and setting up every day. Oddly enough, these critters do indeed have impressive celestial powers. Dung beetles, like the scarab, are incredible navigators that use the sun as guidance when moving their quarries. Rolling the dung ball along, the beetle will periodically stop, climb atop its price, look around to orient itself, and climb back down and start pushing the ball once more. This is why the solar god Khepri of ancient Egypt had a face of a dung beetle, symbolizing the rolling of the ball of fire from east to west in the celestial sky. You can see where this is going, right? If Khepri is a scarab, then the sun becomes the ball of poop, and thus the poop becomes a symbol of immortality and reincarnation among ancient Egyptians. Now hold on, there are levels to this. It gets a little more interesting. The old Egyptians considered fecal excrement of all animals sacred and incorporated them in their medicines. Poop from gazelles and dogs and cats and donkeys, etc. was used in various assortments of cures and ointments. Some were used in spiritual rituals and exorcism as well. But the crocodile was special of all, for it wasn't just a medicine, it was also considered a contraceptive. The 4,000-year-old Kahun Gynecological Papyrus was medical records detailing all about the means and measures used by the old Egyptians for birth control. The document is filled with bizarre practices. Ancient Egyptian men were in fact one of the earliest practitioners of using prophylactics during lovemaking. But these contraceptives were made out of the same fabric they used for loincloth. However, if you think that was weird, get this. A mixture of honey and crocodile dung was used by ancient Egyptian women as pessary. Now, using a block made out of honey and crocodile dung as
You
pessary
still going?
sure sounds disgusting.
Just
You see,
quoting some stuff, and then I'm
manure
gonna go
acted
for
as a
another hit interchange one.
spermicide, and any bugs that the dung might have carried were taken
Sweet,
care of by
I'm ready to go when
honey
you
with
are.
antibacterial properties, which also helped in taking care of STDs
Got myself
and
a
SIDs.
weapon.
So sure, the mixture of crocodile dung and honey sounds repulsive and sticky to say the least. But at the same time, it was a practice that the Egyptians thought worked.
That needs to go to Jaeger.
Pregnancy tests in ancient Egypt times were very different from what is used nowadays. Whatever the case, women today are lucky to have modern-day pregnancy tests to let them know when it's time for a visit to the clinic or to give the good news to their loved ones. Ancient Egyptians, surprisingly, had a similar method for their pregnancy checks. In the first known pregnancy test, ancient Egyptian women would go to fields of recently seeded wheat and barley and urinate on seeds. If these seeds would sprout rather quickly than their usual blooming period, it would mean a positive pregnancy. It might sound like old age hocus pocus, but the modern pregnancy sticks work kind of the same way. During pregnancy, there is a specific hormone in the pee of women, and that hormone helps seeds to sprout faster. The modern sticks detect the amount of the same hormone in the women's pee to conclude if they are
I love
pregnant
watching
or
this
not.
streamer because eventually he just ends up raging a wee bit. It's quite funny.
One of the most fascinating things about ancient Egypt for Greek historian Herodotus was the equality in Egyptian society. Unlike Greece and Rome, where women had a somewhat inferior social status than men, Egypt allowed women to not only own property and rule, but they were also allowed to work in any field they wanted. There were female healers, female high priestesses, female military officers, and whatnot. In kind of the same way, men enjoyed privileges in ancient Egypt that were considered feminine in the outside world. Men of Egypt wore their makeup with confidence, like women. Thick eyeliners and cat's eye designs were predominantly popular, along with the highlight and perfume
Alright,
wigs.
Sprint Impact,
Animal oils, in
Flush,
fact, were used
an
as
RGD, and
moisturizers by
RGD.
men and women alike. Henna, popular in modern cultures today, was used to create fancy tattoos. It is believed that makeup not only makes them fabulous, but also acts as skin protectant. But the equality didn't stop there. Men of Egypt also had those times of the month. Wait, male menstruation? Did I read that right? Despite all the hygienic and cultural practices for purity, ancient Egypt had a lot of diseases. And unfortunately, one of them was schistosomiasis, which made people urinate and poop blood. It was so widespread that people didn't even think it was a disease. They thought men were menstruating. Egyptians accepted that males had periods like women as part of growing up. They even believed that bleeding was a sign of fertility in men. Only in women, it was not a sign of fertility,
Jaeger, that's
but
your
it
daily
was
done.
an STD.
Because for some reason you went with two tall shotguns.
Yes,
Does
quite
everybody get different
literally,
ones?
in ancient Egypt, if you
Yeah.
heard a herd of monkeys running in your direction, screaming in monkey language, run. Consider yourself a wanted man and an outlaw because the warrant was out and
Did I
the
get-
cops were coming to get you.
There's probably
Cops
some like
said they're
overlap, but
baboons.
by and large it's pretty
Seriously,
random.
This could be a great comedy movie with Jim Carrey as their commissioner. Hollywood, are you listening? Anybody? Cats were the most popular
I don't know
choice.
what their plans
Ancient
for it
Egyptians
is,
were in
but
love with
I
all sorts
can
of
think of
animals.
one way they
There
could
were
use it
hardly
is to
any
try and push
animals
people
who
who
had
don't like
been
certain maps
biosphere that
into
Egyptians
certain maps more.
hesitated to utilize as pets. Lions, ibises, gazelles, hippos,
Aye,
fish,
true.
birds, monkeys, baboons.
Just
Ancient
to try and
Egyptians
like,
were known for their exotic pets, but not all
because
of
like at
them
certain
were
maps I
the
just
same.
outright avoid
Like dogs,
unless I'm
used by
quest
modern
doing
police
tasks
departments
because
across
I
the
have
world
to go to them for the
assist
tasks.
authorities in search,
So
trace, and detect. Ancient Egyptians
I wouldn't be
used
surprised if they
baboons.
used the daily thing as a method of trying to
Artwork that
maybe
survived ages
get a
depicted
bit more
Egyptian
traffic on
authorities
certain
using
maps.
baboons on leashes to apprehend criminals. One shocking bit of classical Egyptian artwork depicts authorities unleashing a baboon on a Cairo marketplace,
Yeah,
and the
there we go.
criminal begging them to call the animal off as it bites his leg. Pet baboons in ancient Egypt also knew
Okay,
how to
any
pick
sort of
fruits,
gun.
dance, and even better, make beer. Their owners loved them so much that some mummies were found with tattoos and artworks of baboons. I might want a baboon to help me around the house. So, what do you think? Did we miss
Barters,
any of the weird social norms of ancient Egypt?
weapons.
And would
Can I
you
get an
like to
SKS
walk
yet?
and
I can.
talk
What
and
was your
live
like?
like an ancient Egyptian? Maybe have your own monkey
What
make
that
you
one?
coffee in the morning. Tell us in the comments. Do not forget to smash that like button. Oh, and thanks for watching Nutty History.
Where is that mount I had a second ago? No, you won't fit on it. Why won't you fit on it? Stop being a dick, game. And give me a 20 rounder. This is a lot expensive. PS rounds. And what else do I need? Activation. Where is the... That's mechanic, that's not the wrong person. That was probably why. Oh, no, Peacekeeper's the one who sells the night vids. Where the fuck's... There it is. Okay. Link search. No, I don't need that. I need that. There Yeah, I still have all that shit with me. Okay. Interchange 17, 13. The hell type of scope have you got?
It's a shitty one. It's so heavy.
Hmm? 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 It is so ridiculously dark and Interchange though.
It is, mate. It is.
My, I don't know. Like for Interchange, the one thing I'd like to see in mod is maybe 2 different locations on the map outside of the main shop that you can go to, and you can turn off all the lights. Like you can just cut the power of the entire building.
Enough.
At least the main lights, and then like maybe like the wee yellow spotlights that run off the generators. Maybe like leave them on, I guess, because you can shoot them. And I still want to add like a 3rd time slot because I don't like the fact that because of how the time slots are set out 12 hours apart, that most of the time there's not an actual night run on any map. Like there's only a night run available on any map about 30% of the time. Like a proper night run. I think that's dumb. So I'd like to see mod like a 3rd time. And then spread it out by like 6 hours or 7 hours, whatever they need to do to make sure that any map you go to, there's always like a proper full-on night run there for you to go to. Because I find that lack of it just plain stupid.
See what spawn we get this time.
Alright. It's only a 3 times. That's alright.
I think there's a spawn to our left from here.
There is one on down the way.
Just want a power. It's actually not too bad in the day, this scope. You know that? It doesn't really look affected at all.
It depends where you're looking at the night viz.
Guy running up. Going left. He's heading in.
Can't you see him, dude?
Ah, he's way on in. He's gone left and then round to the right. Big boy as well. Big backpack and all.
Could be a Chad.
Which way do you want to go in? Do you want to follow him in or?
I'm not fussed. We have to hit the shops. Well, what task do you have here?
None. I'm just here lifting stuff.
Our comments follow him. As long as we don't sprint, he shouldn't hear our asses.
sure where he went. I think he went in here on the left.
Probably. Got some suppressed fire. Careful. Go full creep. Yes, gunshots. That's at the front of the building. Not a big risk to move. That's possibly the guy you seen. You on moving? When I full creep, by the way, I tend to still be moving, dude. I just go full creep so like I make very little sound. You know?
I know, I hadn't stopped, like.
I know, sometimes when I say full creep, I might give the impression. I understand why people make the impression. I mean, like, just dead stop then, because it does kind of sound like that's what I'm saying, but I tend to keep moving. This is the main, right? So, like, the vast majority, a lot of this shop right now is super dark, right? This is why I want them to have set proper night runs and day run at all times on all the maps. Because I know what some people would say. Some people would say that, but like, because you need to bring a night viz with you to be fully effective, it's like an extra bit of skill level, but it's not. It's just an extra fucking money train. Oh. I think I heard movement to my right. Why is that so fucking dark in the scope? Yeah, the scope is bad.
I think I'm gonna be coming up behind you. You're in the opposite aisle.
Yeah, I'm like along the back, about halfway across now. I think I hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got night at someone anyway.
See that guy's in.
Metal on our left. Seen him, he's trying to jump over the thing. Damn it, the scope is gonna kill me. Get a flashlight?
Yeah, I see it. I'm further back than you. I'm looking.
Hurt pretty bad, cover me if you can.
I've got it covered. It's just a flashlight's a problem. Hold him off, but I can't.
Yeah, he's gonna loop around me in a sec. He blacked out 3 of my fucking limbs.
Okay, keep an ear out. I'm gonna move to the right.
I'm trying to get back in the cover so I can do medding. I'll probably die here.
Left.
It's me, it's me, it's me,
Is
it's
that
me.
you?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
me. I need to get my, at least need to get my 2 legs fucking surged up. Because I currently cannot move for shit.
Is that you lying down?
Yeah. We blacked out Norm 2 legs there, fucker. guys might bait him in, though, so you might get a chance of him now.
Watch out. Move forward.
I can't, I'm surgery animation, dude. But he gas me, don't worry too much.
Is there a chance he's dead round that corner? Do you think I got him?
Don't know. Nope.
That's out slightly right.
I just blind myself. Fuck. You see okay?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Yeah, 'cause I just fucking flashed my own ass.
I don't know where he went.
I'm just gonna get some healing in, mate. This will probably get me killed, but I'm pretty much gonna have to. I'm gonna try fucking bait the cunt into coming. I get a bit of as much healing done as I can first to give myself as much health. So I think that's him. Wherever that was, that's him.
Here. That's it. We're towards where we first engaged.
There he is. He's back there. I've seen the light, I think. Yep.
Yeah, I'm looking. Yeah.
Definitely hit him.
Right, stay back.
1 sec.
I'm gonna throw a grenade.
I'm going right.
Scav right.
Yeah, I'm going right in this guy though. Right, I'm flanking right, I'm pushing. He's still in there, I heard him.
I'm looking for him.
Right, cover, I'm gonna try to bait him a bit here.
Careful, he was on that corner. Is that your flash or
No,
his?
that's his.
Right, I'm looking again. We've
Come on,
got a problem
fucker.
with that scav on the right.
Come on, fucker,
That's his
come on.
again?
Yeah, come on, fucker. I'm gonna go full creep here. He might try to come around to the right hand side.
I've got the left hand side where we seen him first.
I think he's trying to creep to the right. Yeah, he's trying to creep to the right.
Is that you moving?
No, I've stopped moving now. I'm in a corner slightly to your right. I can hear him trying to creep around.
Yeah, I've got a scav moving up on you.
Oh, it's him, it's him, it's him. Fuck. Can't make me bleed again. I'm gonna die.
I've hit him a couple of times. I'm going round, going far right.
I'm dead. Ah, that's a terrible scope. They have not even fucking grenades now down to the cunt. Basically to your right though. From like where we were guarding that corner, to your right.
Millions of people to the point that he almost changed the carbon footprint
I
of
did a bit of
time
damage to him.
by himself.
That was him
Mongol
coming up that I
Emperor and
seen.
his successors
Not a
casted
scav then.
dark shadow
Yeah.
of their prominence and
He looped
dominance
around, he's
in the
looping around.
Yet there are hidden grim secrets about the Mongol Empire that are not known by everyone. Welcome to Nutty History, and today let's find out what creepy things were normal in the Mongol Empire. Before Genghis Khan became the mighty Genghis Khan, founder of the Mongol Empire, he was a little boy named Temujin. Obviously,
What's he
Temujin
using?
doesn't sound as intimidating
9x19
as Genghis Khan,
submachine gun.
but don't let it fool you, because Temujin showed early signs of the dominant personality that would acquire whatever he wanted. After the death of his father, Temujin and his family were on the run for several years, with Temujin's mother, Hulun, acting as the chief of the pack. His family consisted of multiple ex-wives of Temujin's father and multiple siblings and half-siblings of Temujin. It was fairly obvious that the family had some friction and rivalries among them. However, Hulun made sure that the family stayed together and policed any signs of trouble brewing in the home. But as the boys grew, a new problem arose. According to Mongol traditions, the eldest son of the father was supposed to get the privilege of marrying his father's wives, excluding his own mother, and keep the concubines as well. Bektur, the eldest of Temujin's half-siblings, was sort of a bully and would tease Temujin about marrying his mother soon. When Bektur announced himself as
He's
the
dead.
chief of the family for being
But
the
he
eldest
blacked
male,
out my head.
Temujin could not contain his resentment any further, despite his mother's strict orders. During a hunting excursion, Temujin and his brother Kasar waited for
Yes,
the
he's using
opportune
a-
moment
it must
and
be using
killed
a-
Berkton's body with arrows.
Seemed like a submachine gun anyway.
Temujin was chastised by his mother for killing the
Seemed
kid.
submachine gun
This
ammo
was the
and
moment when Temujin
the
found
sound of the
out
gun
Genghis
sounds
murder could
sound
be
like
used as
a
problem solver.
MP5 or something.
We all know how liberally Genghis Khan used this method in the following years. Just ask China and Persia. From a fratricidal teenage boy to becoming one of the most ruthless emperors the world has ever seen,
Scav's still kicking
Temujin
about at the
had more
back there.
obstacles to overcome. Temujin and his family were in constant danger due to his father's former allies turned enemies. Not to mention the generations-long adversaries of Mongols who were also hunting his family.
Is your
Temujin
stuff
was
insured,
captured
is
in
it?
a raid, but managed to escape, but his wife
Think so,
wasn't
yeah.
so lucky in another similar incident. Enraged, Temujin quickly assembled a small coalition of allies and charged the Merkids,
Did he
who
kill
proved to
you?
be
That's
no
what I
match
want
for
to know.
Temujin's vengeance.
Share your screen.
Temujin was only 19 years old at the time,
Yeah,
and his victory helped to establish his reputation as a formidable warrior. However, things were not looking so bright for Borte. Before Temujin arrived to rescue her, Borte had already been tortured,
so
assaulted, and
I
stripped of her
should
dignity
be-
multiple times by her abductors.
Jesus, he
Things
fucked you right up.
worsened when Borte found out she
Yeah.
was pregnant. As it's been quite some time between her sharing a bed with Temujin, there was no
Ah,
way
yeah,
to
MP5.
ascertain if the child in her belly belonged to Temujin or one of the kidnappers. But to everyone's surprise, despite the rumors and questions raised by the rest of Mongolia, Temujin declared that he would accept the child as his own. And such was his influence that nobody dared question him for
Just
decades.
abusing the
until he
fuck
was
out
on
of the
his
use of a
deathbed.
fucking flashlight.
However, these two
Bastard.
events in Genghis Khan's family were the most
He must have been
important
pretty much
steps
out of. He must have no ammo
to
left
the
though.
throne of a
Yeah, no,
unified
there is no ammo
Mongolia.
left. Gun's empty as well.
Yeah.
He must have stepped round the corner and ran out.
Now, as we mentioned earlier,
Yeah.
killing his
So
stepbrother
if you
Bektur
go along the
Genghis
back
Khan an
wall of
important
Ollie
lesson. Murder can
and
solve
go
almost
right,
everything, and he took the lesson to heart as history testifies to this. A huge number of Genghis enemies
and then
died
look
in
to your
very
right
sudden
there,
and suspicious
that corner.
circumstances. However, Genghis wasn't always subtle and
Should, my
shrewd
body should be
killing
about
his
there
enemies.
somewhere. There you
A
are.
lot of his enemies were killed openly. Genghis
I suppose you've
ascertained
anything
that
on you
by
that
making an
can
example of their demise.
take away my
A
pain.
particular petty case involved a famous
Don't
Mongol
think
wrestler
so.
named
I had
Genghis
meds, but they're all in my
made the mistake of
fucking
humiliating Genghis'
thing, I think.
brother
Container.
Belgudai in a match
Yeah.
long before Genghis' rise to power. After Temujin unified the
I'm just gonna
Mongols and took the
stash
throne with
this.
Genghis Khan, he
I
remembered
just
what
hide
Berry
it,
had
the
done,
ears, the
asking
head,
the
and
wrestler
the
to
night
have a
viz.
rematch
In fact,
with
don't
his
even worry about
younger
so much about
brother,
hiding the helmet if you don't want
Berkut
it. Just
trapped.
the
Declining the
night viz.
invitation would
Don't
be
even
death,
fucking.
and accepting it and
you know.
defeating Belgudai would be no different either. Seeing that
Is
his
it
only
switched
chance
on
to
at the minute? If
survive
I
was
chuck
trapped
this in the
with
corner, is it
Genghis
just gonna
Khan's
sit and
match,
glow?
Berry gladly ate the dirt.
I
Against
think it's
Belgudai.
on.
Pinned against Belgudai's weight,
Can't remember.
Berry conceded in hope that it would settle the score with Genghis Khan. But Genghis Khan had already decided Berry's fate. Even though the match was over, Genghis signaled his brother to push his knee on Berry's back until Berry's back gave up and cracked. The paralyzed wrestler kept asking for forgiveness from the emperor, but Genghis, ever so merciless,
think it'll be all
ordered
right.
the soldiers to drag the
That'll be
paralyzed
grand.
wrestler outside and leave him there to die. Genghis
Unless the guy who
explained
killed you,
Berry's decision
the
to
chances
go
anyone
back
even
was
find your
ridiculous.
body and
He has
fucking
no plea for
interchange,
cowards
especially when you
under
die
his
somewhere
will.
like that, is
The same fate
pretty
befell
remote.
Genghis shaman Ted Tingri later when he tried to use Khan's brothers to create a rift in Genghis' family. He tried to create a rift between the brothers by making a prophecy that Kasar will betray Genghis to take the throne himself. But Hoelun, Genghis' mother, intervened in time and stopped Genghis from committing fratricide for the second time. After Hoelun's death, Teb Tingri made his move against Genghis'
What do you
youngest
think?
brother, Timur. And this time on his wife's advice,
Might be alright.
Genghis invited Teb Tingri
Yeah, be grand.
for a wrestling match.
Like I said, man,
He
like
had his
the
back
chances I
open
even
and
find
died
shit in
for
interchange
bronze.
anyway is
Ironically, Genghis
it's only if you die in like the
but
shops
he had
where
to make
everyone
Mongolians'
fucking
enemies as
checks.
painfully as possible. Later on, Mongol emperors also came up with similar
Otherwise,
horrible
it's
and
a case of
excruciating
good luck
forms of
finding anything, you know.
pestilences. During the reign of Gayub Khan, Gayub suspected a courtier named Fatima for the death of his brother in dubious circumstances. After coming to the conclusion that Fatima must have poisoned his brother, he had her tortured to get her confession. Once she confessed, Gayub ordered to sew her upper and
Yeah,
lower
it's gonna take-
orifices and had her thrown into the river. Eek.
Going up anywhere at this
Awful
stage?
way to go. The Mongols traditionally had a taboo against shedding royal blood, so if a regal person was sentenced to death, they would get extra creative. For example, after the fall of Baghdad to the forces of Hulagu Khan, the Abbasid Caliph al-Mustasim was rolled up in a carpet and trampled to death by stampeding horses. But that was nothing in comparison to the macabre end of Russian princes after the Battle of the Khalkha River. The princes were shoved under some floorboards and crushed as the Mongols celebrated, danced, and ate while holding their victory feast on top of them. Even Tarantino can't top that sort of gruesomeness in his films. One of the things that made Mongolians different from their contemporary times was the treatment of women. Unlike the rest of the world, Mongolian women enjoyed freedom, value, and equal status in their society, unlike any other country of that time. But calling Mongolians feminist would be a big mistake because such a liberal attitude towards the fairer sex was limited to native Mongolian women only. Foreign women captured during raids and invasions were basically a victim of human trafficking and slavery. These women were forced to marry Mongol men, or worse, they were turned into concubines. The Mongols also often demanded young maidens as a tribute from the subjects of their conquered lands. The Siberian queen, Botohui Tarhun, was one of the rare leaders who managed to kick Mongolians' rear side in battle. However, despite her legendary resistance, eventually Mongols managed to overpower her, and Botohui Tarhun was captured and forced to get married to an ordinary Mongol soldier. Now, they didn't kill her, but surely they erased her name from history. The only foreign woman who managed to beat Mongolians at their own game was Merkit Princess Torjane.
I think the chances of me getting out of here alive are fairly slim.
If you loop out the back and
Can't
go,
see.
if you loop out the back and go round the building, you're probably around. Usually, it's one of those things of most people, the only people on the outside after the first 10 minutes are usually, not always, but usually stash runners.
In modern times, body odor is considered a sign of not only bad hygiene, but also a bad personality. In the Mongol Empire, strong body odor was a sign of strong character. In the old Mongol religion of Tengrism, water bodies were considered the home of the dragon gods. Because of their belief that the water cycle was controlled by dragons, they considered bathing in water would contaminate the water and disturb the sanctity of the thing these dragon gods call home. This in turn would result in the dragon gods becoming angry. It wasn't just about bathing, but washing clothes as well, because their clothes carry the same filth, sweat, dirt, and other body fluids. But that doesn't mean they would throw worn clothes out and don new clothes every week or so. In fact, it was quite the contrary. Mongols wore the same set of clothes 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, until those clothes couldn't handle their stench anymore and they tore apart after completing their miserable age span. Even then, Mongols only threw away those smelly, torn rags if they did not belong to the royal family. Members of the royal family, instead of throwing their dirty laundry, would give it to those who pleased them. Today, it might be considered perhaps the worst gift ever, but for subjects of the Mongol Empire, receiving dirty underwear from the king was considered the most ostentatious and generous honor. Killing in the name of one true religion is a tale as old as time. But Mongols were on the next level as their reason for delivering religious justice revolved around Genghis Khan. Interestingly, on one hand, while Mongols were one of the most religious, tolerant empires, they also justified mass murders and genocide with religion. In 1218, Genghis Khan climbed the pulpit of a mosque in the recently conquered city of Bukhara, and he gave a chilling speech to its surrounding citizens. You have committed great sins. If you had not committed great sins, God would not have sent a punishment like me upon you. Genghis had a self-belief that he was the wrath of the god, or at least he propagated this notion to his enemies. Even after his death, his successors glorified killing and pillaging in his name. One of Genghis' grandsons, Gaya, told Pope Innocent IV that the power vested in the bloodline of Genghis Khan by the heavens gave them the right to rule all land.
I think the flashlight, mate, is real.
Yeah. Oh, it's effective. It's not something I can use all that well because I tend to like not be able to see the fucker myself because it gets a bit bright, but it's definitely an effective thing though. It's good for the submachine gun stuff because you can like spray cheap ammo and go for the head. That's why it's so effective with guns like that. Semi-autos and stuff, it's not as effective by any stretch of the imagination. Yeah, but certainly if anything it's automatic, it's definitely an effective tactic. An aggravatingly effective tactic.
Full 22.
Especially if you're someone who has fucking night vision on, so you just blind your ass. Energy and task do might not in so much. Fucking hate them.
It's one of them Marmite maps, I think.
It's definitely one though, I will say it is one that does seem to reward knowing your peak angles and stuff really fucking well. If you know all the wee grooves and shit in the different random crap lying about and all, you can get some really sneaky shots.
There's a streamer, all he does is just play interchange. Doesn't play any other maps, he's pretty good, like. He's man done.
Oh no.
Back again then?
Nah, I'm just doing a quick scalp here at the minute.
Oh.
Might as well, the thing is, you have to, I think it's like, I think it works out at something like 600 scab runs.
600?
Survive 600 scab runs, and then if you do like the vehicle extraction shit, you reduce that number down, but I know they added, as long as you survive, you get a certain amount of scab rep. And the last numbers I heard given for it, which may have been changed at this point, but the last numbers I heard given for it was about a 0.01 for every survived scab run you do without, like, you know, obviously if you shoot someone or something, you get more for like killing PMCs and all. But that's based on just literally you go in, you loot shit, you get out. And the last numbers I heard about it was 0.01. So in theory, it should be 100 scav runs per 1.0. So it should, in theory, be 600 scav runs to get yourself up to 6.0.
600.
Which is fence level 2, and then 100 more will get you to 7.0, which is the actual maximum rep you can get. Although I don't know if higher than 6.0 actually gets you any better shit on your scav. But I know Cat was saying that he had really built up really high scav rep in the last wipe. And his scavs were actually able to spawn in with thermals.
No.
Yep, his scav spawned to the floor.
Random that is.
So I
Let's see.
suspect it's worth building it up. Especially now with the fucking changes to the flea market, meaning you can't just go and buy yourself a flare. Because that will mean you can, the only source you'll have is either your scav by the sounds of things, if if they haven't changed that, or Jaeger, which he only sells one every 3 hours. I know you can find them in maps, but they have a really spawn chance, like a super low spawn chance. And I'm pretty sure it's only maps like labs and shit like that, like really fucking dangerous maps. I would not be surprised if you can get them in the rogues area.
Aye, true.
But yeah. But even then, like, whatever ones, if you can get in the rogues area, I would imagine they're behind locked doors, which need keys that your scav can't get, even as a random spawn. Meaning that you would have to be a PMC to go and get the damn things. Meaning they would attack you on site anyway. That and also the higher the rep you have, between high rep and upgrading your intelligence thing, you can get your scav cooldown down to about 3 minutes. Meaning that if you end up having like loads of bad runs and you're just absolutely stone cold broke, that you can just scav run, and by the time you sell the shit from your scav run, your next scav will be up. So you can just make all your money doing that until you're like, you've got enough stockpile to actually do shit.
It's not a bad idea.
Scouts are definitely worth building up. They're very much an overlooked avenue of money in this game. So we've had quite a few people come into this Discord that are pretty new to the game, and they've seen like me, Divine, Manly, other fellas that have like got, 1, 2, 5, 6, plenty of fucking rubles. How the fuck you get so rich? It's like, that's how you run your scav, and you will make ridiculous amount of money shockingly fucking quick. And it's not per se, it's the thing about running your scav for making money, is it is good money, but it's not good money on every scav. The thing on your scav is you can do it quick, and while it's not every scav is good money, the numbers kind of are in your favor. Of you run enough, you will end up getting something valuable on your scav at some point, Holy shit. Well, them two are 69ing. Okay. Oh, I'm not even joking. I've got a dead scav lying over the top of a dead PMC. Face to cock and face to pussy, so.
Особенно вон тот паренек в белом, красава, блядь. Ну, ноги в руки и на промыслы, братва.
Okay, let's just chuck this down real quick and see how damaged this armor is. It's not too bad. Okay. So there's PS ammo, light bulbs. Take all this shit, it's all good. Take the fuel conditioner. Don't need the PS ammo. Don't need that. Take that. Take that. Take that. That. Oh, come on. Stop being a shit. And that. Drop that. Grab that rig. Yeah, these poor fuckers really weren't having a good time, were you? Another need. Okay, no, server might be about to crash because that loot is still showing as loading.
Aye, I got DC'd with the same thing just earlier. A couple of minutes ago.
Yeah, I might be kicked before I get out of this fucking run. Oh well. Oh, actually, never mind. I wonder. Let's check if this rifle is in good fucking nick. One of these guys appears to have an SV98 beside him, and I don't know if it's a damaged one or. Probably is. He probably got off a scav sniper. Let's double check. Yeah, it's a half dead one. Don't need it. Can't fucking put it the mechanic. I think I can tell this one the mechanic though, 'cause it has just enough health to be usable. Okay, it's not your pockets that are still bugged out. Okay, let's check it out. With what money I got. Got a fuel tank, got a power pressure gauge, got some nice things. So. I think I may have just DC'd. Nope.
I was lying down looting the body and I heard these footsteps running behind me, so I just didn't move and he ran on by.
Probably a fellow scav just looking to see what he can get out.
So, this guy tried to kill me.
He might do. It's very much a 50-50 at the minute on whether the scav is going to be a bad scav or a good scav. It wasn't quite as bad last wipe, but it wasn't great either. Because I know people just don't seem to I don't know if it's they don't know the value
This video is brought
of
to you by
having good scav karma, or
Do
they
you know
just
that two
don't
out of
care
every three
about.
guys are going to experience some form of male passive baldness by the time they're 35? No, I had no idea. I mean, yes, obviously. For me, it was like 25. Irish keeps have been around when I was younger because advancements in science meant that there are now treatments that can combat the symptoms of hair loss and help you keep the hair that you have. Look, it's too late for me. My hair's not coming back, but you didn't have to be like me. You could stop your hair loss early thanks to Keeps. Keeps offers generic versions of the only 2 FDA-approved drugs for treating hair loss, so you may have tried them before, but never at a price this low. That's right, if you were thinking, this is some sort of meds and it's going to be very expensive, well, you couldn't be more wrong. Keep starts at just $10 a month. So how does it work? Well, for one thing, there's no need to visit a doctor's office. Just schedule a quick online consult, and a bit later, a discreet package will arrive at your door and you can use it in the privacy of your own home. So, if you're noticing that you're losing your hair, that's one problem that's not going to fix itself. Do something about it. For a limited time, go to keeps.com/brainfood or click the link in the description below and you'll receive 50% off your first order. And now today's video. When the British Expeditionary Force was evacuated from the French town of Dunkirk in May 1940, it was forced to leave most of its weapons and equipment behind on the beaches. Thus, while the Royal Navy kept British home waters safe and the Royal Air Force's bomber command carried out nightly bombing raids against occupied Europe, the British Army found itself with few means of striking back against Nazi Germany. The solution came in 1940 with the creation of the Commandos, a group of elite, highly trained soldiers and Marines tasked with carrying out small-scale raids into occupied territory to collect
Yeah, I think I need
intelligence,
one more
sabotage,
fleece.
and generally harass the enemy. The Commandos proved extraordinarily effective, carrying out some of the most daring special operations of the war. And perhaps the most daring commando raid of all time was a 1942 operation in which a group of 10 Royal Marines struck a crippling blow to German shipping using the unlikeliest of weapons, the humble canoe. This is the extraordinary tale of Operation
Yep.
Frankton.
Right, I need
and the
one more
Uncle
fleece,
Shell
and then I need
Coast.
10
The
rips
German
up.
invasion of France in the summer of 1940 dramatically changed
Is that
the
for
strategic
the,
landscape
what's it called, the
of Europe.
clothes one or something? What's that?
Previously, German
yeah,
could
weekly.
only access the Atlantic via the Baltic Sea and the Skagerrak Strait between Denmark
Weekly
and
from
Norway, allowing it to be
Ragman.
easily bottled in by the Royal Navy.
I think it's
Access
Ragman.
to
It's one of them
ports on the
anyway.
British coast not only gave German U-boats direct access
How
to
many
Britain's
dailies do you need to
vulnerable
complete to
western
unlock a
approaches,
weekly?
but also allowed
Uh,
Germany to
certain level.
trade
Certain level, I think.
raw materials with its ally Imperial Japan. Despite persistent efforts by the Royal Navy to cut off German shipping, blockade-running ships regularly succeeded in penetrating the British cordon, and in the 12 months from June 1941 to 1942, the Germans managed to bring in more than 25,000 tons of rubber, oil, and other raw materials from the Far East. Much of this trade was centered on the French port of Bordeaux, which soon became a prime target for Allied military planners. But there was a problem. Bordeaux, located some 100 kilometers inland from the mouth of the Gironde River, was a fiendishly difficult target. A conventional naval attack was out of the question, for any fleet would be spotted and destroyed by German ships, aircraft, and shore batteries long before it reached its target. Attack from the air was also ruled out, as a daylight raid would be swiftly shot out of the sky, while a night raid would be too inaccurate and risk inflicting excessive civilian casualties. One man, however, thought he had a solution. Major Herbert Blondie Hassler was a Royal Marines officer with a deep passion for sailing and small watercraft. Born in Dublin in 1941, as a boy, Hassler built his own canoe from instructions from Boy's Own magazine and took it on excursions around Portsmouth Harbour and the Isle of Wight. Knowing firsthand the manoeuvrability and stealth such a craft could achieve, in early 1941, Hassler submitted a report to the British Admiralty outlining his plan for using small teams of men equipped with folding kayaks, known to the British as canoes or
You still in your
foilboats,
Scarborough, are you?
No, I'm out now. I'm just
While similar ideas
selling shit.
by Commando Captain Roger Courtney
Dead on.
from the Special
Re-
Boat
re-
Section
reclaiming the
of
room in my stash again.
Service, or SBS, the Admiralty found the concept too outlandish and rejected Hassler's suggestions. Then on December the 19th, 1941, Italian naval frogmen of the elite Decima Flottiglia MAS unit carried out a spectacular raid on Alexandria Harbour in Egypt, seriously damaging the British naval ships, the HMS Queen Elizabeth and the HMS Valiant. The attackers used a unique weapon nicknamed Mayali, or Pig, a human torpedo ridden by two drivers with detachable warheads that could be fixed to the keel of a ship at anchor. This attack was preceded by a March 26 raid against Solda Bay in Crete using explosive motorboats called Barchetti, as well as a July 26th attack against Valletta Harbour using both of these weapons. These attacks demonstrated the effectiveness of small naval raiding forces, and in their wake, Winston Churchill called for combined operations, the headquarters of Commando Operations, to develop similar capabilities. Thus, in July 1942, Major Hassler was invited to establish a canoe raiding force based at Lumps Fort at Portsmouth Harbour, which for security reasons he dubbed the Royal Marines Boom Patrol Detachment, or RMBPD. The detachment, which ultimately numbered 34 men, was recruited mostly from the Royal Marines Small Arms School at Gosforth and the Royal Marine Auxiliary Battalion at Portsmouth Harbour Basin, and regularly conducted night patrols of the harbour's anti-submarine net booms, lending credence to the unit's codename. Finding the Royal Marines' existing four-boats too flimsy for his purposes, Hassler designed a larger, stronger version measuring 3 meters long, designated the Mark II Cockle. On September the 21st, 1942, Hassler submitted a plan for the RMBPD to attack German shipping in Bordeaux Harbour. The plan called for 3 cockle canoes carrying 2 men each to be transported via submarine to the French coast and released into the Gironde estuary. The raiders would then make their way up the river to Bordeaux, paddling at night and hiding during the day to avoid detection. The raiders' main weapon would be the limpet mine, a waterproof explosive charge fitted with magnets which could be attached attached to the bottom of a ship's hull using an extendable pole. Though they contained only 2 kilograms of explosives, when placed 2 meters or more below the waterline, the compression effect of the surrounding water allowed the limpets to blow a sizable hole in the hull of nearly any unarmored civilian ship. The mines were set off with a special acetone or AC fuse, which consisted of a spring-loaded firing pin held back by a plastic washer. To activate the fuse, the raider chose from a selection of glass ampules containing various concentrations of acetone and inserted it into the fuse body. He then turned a screw to break the ampule and released the acetone. After a delay, the acetone would eat away the washer, releasing the firing pin and setting off the mine. The delay being determined by the concentration of acetone selected and the temperature of the water. In addition to 8 limpet mines, each canoe would also be equipped with 3 sets of paddles, a compass and watch, a depth-sounding line, a repair kit, a camouflage net, rations, and water for 6 days, magnets on ropes to hold the canoe next to the target ship while placing the mines, and 2 hand grenades. Each man would also be equipped with a 45 caliber Colt 1911 pistol and a Fairbairn Sykes fighting knife. Once they had placed their mines, each canoe team would go ashore, hide or destroy their canoe, and make their way overland to the town of Rafek, where they would rendezvous with the French resistance and be smuggled across the border to neutral Spain. On October the 13th, 1942, Chief of Combined Operations Lord Lewis Mountbatten approved Hassler's plan, giving it the code name Operation Frankton. The force was doubled from Hassler's original 3 canoes to 6, each being named after a sea creature beginning with the letter C: catfish, crayfish, conger, cuttlefish, coalfish, and cachalot. This was an old name for a sperm whale, by the way. The force was divided into 2 groups, each with its own targets. A division with catfish, crayfish, and conger, and B division with cuttlefish, coalfish, and cachalot. Hassler himself commanded catfish along with crewmate Marine Bill Sparks, while a 13th man, Marine Norman Coley, was taken on as a reserve. After a month of training, including a full-scale simulated attack up the Swale River against the city of Deptford, the RMBPD was declared ready for action, and on November the 30th, 1942, the raiders and their canoes set sail from Holyloch, Scotland, aboard the Royal Navy submarine HMS Tuna. The men were not told their exact target until the submarine
Run out of meds.
Norman Coley later recalled, "We knew it was supposed to be dangerous, but we were all about 20 years of age, so things like that didn't bother us. I thought the lads accepted it very well. Nobody expected to get back off it. It was a suicide mission." HMS Tuna was scheduled to reach the Gironde estuary on December 6th, but her arrival was delayed by poor weather and to having to negotiate.
I wonder will they ever start adding durability to rigs and stuff, or do they just leave them the way they are?
Cachalot, crewed by W.A. Ellery and E. Fisher, was damaged while being manhandled.
I don't know. I can't say I'm adding it to the rigs, but I do know that the plan for the plate carriers, so your armored rigs, eventually that is actually going to be a plate carrier. Like, you are going to choose the position of the armored plates and shit that goes into it.
That's interesting. Good.
David Moffat to capsize. Unable to bail out of their craft, Sheard and Moffat instead scuttled it and held on to 2 of the remaining canoes and dropped them off as close to the shore as they could. However, the flotilla soon spotted the missing coalfish, and the 4 canoes pressed on with the attack. The next major obstacle was a group of 4 German frigates guarding the entrance to the river. By lying flat on their canoes and paddling silently, the raiders managed to slip by unnoticed, but in the process, cuttlefish, crewed by Lieutenant John McKinnon and Marine James Conway, became separated from the group and was forced to come ashore nearby. Over the next 5 hours, despite a strong tidal currents, the 3 remaining canoes managed to paddle 32 kilometers upriver, coming ashore near the town of St. Vivian de Medina.
Some magazines, I think.
Throughout the following day. When the group set sail the following
Is there any really night ones, is there?
22:55, we got a proper night one now.
Nice, that's good. Right, let's see another magazine sorted out here, and then we're
kilometers on the night of the 8th and
go.
9th of December, 24 kilometers on the 9th and 10th of December, and 14 kilometers on the 10th and 11th of December. Freezing winter temperatures and strong ebb tides made progress slow and exhausting, and at one point the raiders were discovered by a local family resting during the day. Finally, at 9 p.m. on the clear and calm night of December the 11th, the raiders slipped into Bordeaux Harbour with catfish targeting
bottom of the barrel here.
And crayfish the eastern side. Over the next 4 hours, the raiders
Scav. To make your money. R.O. Irish run.
And a German Speerbrecher patrol ship.
Keys if you have them, otherwise nothing, not even a hatchet.
Sphincter tightening occasion, a sentry on the German
Anything after that's a bonus.
Pretty much. The thing is, like, if you know the stashes, as long as you can hit like 1, maybe 2 stashes, you will have hopefully enough money that it recovers your repair bill with like 1 or 2 items, and then everything else after is just golden. And especially with stashes, because the variety of shit they can have in them. You know, you could end up going in with nothing, come out with a fucking armor, a rig, a gun, and an optic, and then a headset of some dead bitch that was abandoned because some guy killed him and had no more space. You know.
Bodies later being found farther up
See
the
if
coast.
we can start some meds crafting. What do we need for that?
Managed to evade capture for 4 days before being betrayed and arrested by the gendarmerie in the town of Lariol, 50
Only I
kilometers
have
south
loads of meds now. I'm absolutely stuffed.
Albert Laver and Marine William Mills of the Crayfish lasted 2 days before being arrested at
Okay, no,
Montleo,
that's a
Lagar.
load of that one.
All 4
Okay.
men, along with Sergeant Wallace and Marine Ewart of Coalfish, were interrogated by the Germans before being executed under Hitler's infamous command.
Just need to heal
This
myself.
decree
Grizzly
promulgated
somewhere, I
response
don't
to
know where it's
major
hiding.
violations of the Geneva Convention made by British commando raids on Dieppe and the island of Sark, ordered that all commandos and other special forces personnel be summarily executed as spies, regardless of whether or not they were in uniform. The only men to survive Operation Frankton were Major Hassler and Bill Sparks of Catfish, who successfully reached Rafik and made contact with the French resistance and made their way across the Pyrenees to Spain. It was not until February the 23rd, 1943, that Combined Operations Headquarters received a secret message from the resistance that Hassler and Sparks were safe.
Do you know what? I
On
think
April
I've
2nd,
sold
116
that,
days after
lost
setting
it.
off for the raid, Major Hassler arrived
Ah,
at
there it is
Hassler
there.
Heroes Welcome. For their actions, Hassler and Sparks were recommended for the Victoria
Trying to
Cross,
find shit sometimes
which
you
is
be a cunt.
the highest award for gallantry. However, one requirement for receiving the Victoria Cross is that the recipient actually be fired upon by the enemy, and as the 2 men had managed to evade the enemy throughout the mission,
Right,
they were
I think
disqualified.
ready to go.
Instead, they were awarded the next highest honours, Hassler receiving the Distinguished Service Order and Sparks the Distinguished Service Medal. Laver and Mills of Crayfish were also recommended for the DSN, but at this time the medal was not awarded posthumously. Awards notwithstanding, Operation
All's
Frankton
out there.
will go down in military history as one of the most daring special forces raids ever mounted. The men of the RMBPD forever immortalised
2318
as
then.
the Cockshell heroes. But daring aside, what had Operation Frankton
Right.
actually accomplished? Unfortunately for the raiders, the harbour bottom at Bordeaux was relatively shallow, allowing the Germans to quickly repair and refloat the damaged ships. However, like most commando raids, the main impact of Operation Frankton
How many more
was
scabs do you need to shoot?
demonstrating to the British people
It's not like a
that
huge
their
spell,
nation
not
could
10 or
still
something.
strike back against Nazi Germany. The raid also temporarily disrupted German international shipping and forced the Germans to tie up large amounts
I think I
of
have
oil
another
resources guarding
2 to
Bordeaux
shoot
and
on
raids. According to
customs.
Winston Churchill, this alone shortened the war by as much as 6 months. The success of
As I can
Operation
remember.
Frankton would inspire further similar strikes, including the September 26, 1943 Operation Jaywick raid against Japanese shipping in Singapore Harbour, which succeeded in sinking 6 ships. This was followed in October 1944 by the less successful Operation Rimau, which featured the use of James Bond-style motorised submersible canoes known as Sleeping Beauties. However, none of these operations captured the popular imagination like the Bordeaux raid, with Combined Operations Chief Lord Louis Mountbatten later stating, "Of the many brave and dashing raids carried out by the men..."
This is quite possibly the worst AK ever in the world. You know this scope is minus 20 ergo.
Yeah, that's because it's fucking massive, dude.
It's probably made of solid steel. It's one of those old Soviet ones.
So I really hope you found this video interesting.
It's the early night tech. It's the early night whiz tech.
Don't forget to subscribe, and as always,
You nearly need a tripod to set the darn thing on. It's set up and all. Hang on, mate. Don't move. We'll get the shot in a minute. Right, I'm ready to shoot you. Stand still.
Why don't you just like fight with honor and wait for your death? All dignified and shit.
I have to relocate here. Get in the construction workers. Take down the scaffolding. Gotta move this scope. Again we go.
Whoa. Let's do this shit. This will, as per usual, either go fucking beautifully or horrendous, because that's just about every Tarkov raid. It's either glorious or just fucking horrible.
Up in that shop, man, that's where all the loot and stuff is. It's just once you spawn and end up in there, it's a definitely looking
but
for a
see-
fight, like.
See, the thing with the interchanges, because of how they've laid out the map, the good loot is basically, unless you've got keys, all the good looting is on polar opposite sides of the goddamn map. But so are all the spawns.
Yeah. We could get someone coming through this door to our left here.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, up ahead.
Yep.
He's coming in. He's run up.
he's in, yeah. Think he went into that room to the right. I think.
I've lost you in the dark. Are you up along the wall?
Pretty much. I'm nearly at the door. Oh,
Behind us, is it?
no, he's not. Someone behind. But he went, I'm pretty sure he went into that wee room to the right. Oh, he's up. Okay. There was fighting back there. I think I seen a muzzle flash. To our left. Someone coming in. I think. Is that you?
No.
Are you running about and jumping?
No.
Okay. Could be him upstairs. The sound in here is fucking borked. Moving through.
That's outside, mate.
Yeah, I'm trying to use that sound to cover me moving towards the stairs though, because I do not want to be down low when that cunt pops his head to the door.
Got running. Is that you?
No. I'm at the bottom of the main stairs now.
Okay.
Where do you
There's
hear
a guy down here. Might be a scav. Got a flashlight on.
Probably scav. I just keep on creeping through, man.
No, somebody shooting at him. Gotta get back on the right.
I think I've got some shooting up here as well. Fucking hate interchange.
Is there room for us both on the stairs there?
Oh, yeah.
Or are you
Yeah.
halfway up?
I'm pretty much up the top now, but there's definitely room up here. I'm just gonna try to creep over this bar to the left, so my back's covered. Trying to keep an eye on doors and shit to see, because I know there's a few tasks over here that people have to open doors for.
Hit glass here.
Right, I'm up at the top of the stairs now. On the left, as soon as you go up. By the like wee makeshift bar here. I hear movement in the hallway.
I've stopped moving.
No, it's not you. I heard him ADSing. One down. don't know if it was a scav or a player.
Are you moving? Yep.
Yeah, I'm moving to the right of the top of the stairs now. Just domed that guy, so I don't want to be in the exact same position as that gunshot.
Right, I'm coming up the stairs backwards, watching behind us in case someone from outside comes in.
Okay. Might have been a player killed, I'm not too sure.
Okay, think there was movement outside, I'm not sure.
I would probably just don't go full creep and just get up quick. And then get in the cover after the fact. And then ear whore these people. Right, I'm in the front of the shop now. Is that you?
Don't know if that was at me, but it definitely pinged round me.
Okay, the sound was being buggy, but that sounded like it came from them far doors.
Yeah, way down the corridor.
Yeah, it sounded like it came from there.
Okay, I'm up the stairs. You're on my right.
Yeah, that's me, that's me.
We need to go a little bit quicker. Aye, the far doors, I know what you're talking about now.
Yeah, it was bugging really bad, but that's where it sounded like. I did hear fighting up here.
Yeah, up in the stores, hell.
Definitely heard a fucking scav for a sec as well.
Right, that's you on my left. I'm on your right, looking down along the back wall.
Okay, I see it.
Scav somewhere. Got a scav on the right, I think.
Good.
Aye.
I'm a
Didn't have
little
chance it.
bit further to your left. I'm gonna start pushing up towards the back as well. Okay, to pincer anyone that might be hanging about here. Let me know when you're going along the back, so I know when you're coming around the corners.
I'm coming closer to you at the gazebo.
Okay,
Are you at the gazebo?
to the right, just to the right of it, about halfway along.
Yeah, yeah. Right, I'm not along the back wall. I'm near it.
You'll probably hear me in a sec.
There's a dead body down there. Is that the guy you killed?
I killed one at the main entrance. I'm gonna check a spot. I'm gonna make some noise. You stay quiet, so that if anyone is about, hopefully they'll react to me and we can get a fix on them. I want to see if this guy's a scav or a player. Pretty sure it's a player, or at least a player scav. Because there is a dead body beside the guy I killed. Okay, he took some guy's AK, he took PS ammo, which I can use to top up mine. Yeah, so I haven't checked the other body, but it's looking like potentially at least the guy we seen run up is dead over here. So that's one shit bag accounted for.
Yeah, I'm creeping down towards the back wall where I shot that scav, I think.
Okay, this is the guy's AK. Oh, player scav? At this point in the raid? That's fucking weird.
Aye, sometimes they can come in quite early.
food. Hey, AK.
Hey, what's up?
How's you?
Good, you man?
Ah, getting there. Got a good few scab killing done, so getting through this horrible interchange shit.
Oh yeah, it's always fun.
Fucking hate interchange, always have done.
Yeah,
Is that you?
Yeah, I'm just taking out the lights because I cannot fucking see anything in this map unless I have night vision, and then about 30% of the map is so fucking bright it blinds you. How'd you, AK? How's your task getting on? I'm pushing up the back, Gooda. See if we
Which
see
side, left side or right side, as you look down in?
Right, along the front, along the front.
I just got on, but I think going pretty well. You know, in a scav run right now on interchange.
Nice.
Hey, what's up, man?
I got a body down here, Gooda. 3 bodies down here. Here, moving to my left. Metal. Escalators. Someone's coming up the escalators. Contact coming up escalators now. I can hear him creeping. I guess it's a scav though. Okay, he went back down. Trying to see what the fuck we got over here, because I've got 3 bodies. All look to be scavs, so where the fuck's the PMC that killed them all? There's a belt rig on one of these guys if you want it, and a police armor on the other one. I'm just sitting above the escalator at the minute on the bench.
Have you gone up towards Tech Light then?
No, I'm still
Are
in
you still
Ollie.
low?
I'm still in front of Ollie. Why were you?
I'm just down along the back. Is that you shooting?
No. I'm literally in front of Ollie right now. Do you know we bench beside the escalator? You can look over and look at the escalators.
Look down, you mean?
Yeah, towards the escalators to come up from the
Aye,
basement.
that's at the right, so you've got double doors behind you.
Yeah, I've got the from the PC spawns and all that shit. There's 3 bodies over here. One has a belt rig if you want it, and one has a press armor with a bit of health left if you want that.
I think there's someone in that side office, but I'm not sure. I thought I heard something. Yeah, the door's open to that side office.
Which side office?
Do you know where we come up the escalators?
To our
If you
right?
take a tight right,
Yeah,
right,
the
down
task
along the checkout desks. There's a
task
door open
area.
at the very end.
I'm pushing down to the other side of that right now. I'm gonna see if this other end's unlocked, because if it is, that means someone's went in there for a task.
Is that you running?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm about to stand up in front of you.
Hello. Oh,
I think that's either Tech Light corridor or
sounds like a scav though.
that's not. That's somebody with a. I don't know.
Okay, let's move on then. See that door still closed, which is why I didn't think anyone was in there.
Who's in the bottom end? Medic.
Heard a scav try to go up the escalators and then run back down, so.
Bit tough going getting up there. Did you hear that? Slightly right.
Yeah. You've got range, don't you?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay. I'm gonna fuck a nade. Yeah, I'm gonna fuck a flash. When you're ready to move towards into techno, okay? Just let me know when you're ready.
Hold on. Need to get a wee bit closer. It's quite a bit of distance to cover at the minute.
shops I have to go to, like along the outskirts of all these fucking areas.
Aye, down the left. Okay. Right, coming quicker now. Ready?
Okay, prime and nade. 3, 2, 1, nade out. Okay, I put a flash in. That was. Oh no, okay. I didn't grab my flash. I grabbed the random nade. I grabbed my fucking RGD.
Right, no, we're all right. Right, I'm in this techno store.
Coming across. I need to go along the back of the shop. The top brand or whatever it is.
This wood's mental. You alright?
Yeah, I've got loads of spare ammo from the scab, so I'm just trying to make things as dark as I fucking can for us. Because the inability to have like a fucking transformer, because this thing, like the wee white, yellow lights that are attached to generators, grand. See these ones? I wish there was like a power fucking transformer outside the building you could slap and just knock all these fucking lights off. Is that top round? That's top round. That's top round dealt with. Right, what else do I have to hit now? I've got Kojin, T-Rand, and Dino Close, which I think.
And this way, is it?
Yeah.
One of these side ends.
I think Kojin's one like is kind of not quite along the edge, but close to the edge. I think I don't do enough fucking thing to.
Rasmussen there.
Yeah. Galvin here.
Scav.
Come on, fucker. Come meet your death. I need your hide. Come on, fucker. Come eat the 20 million rounds that'll be required to kill your ass, even though it should only take one. Do you run interchange 1JK? Hmm?
I do, yeah.
Do you know that top seal thing? Kojin, don't have to hit still. Kojin, T-Rand, and Dino Close. Are they all around like the edge of the interchange, or is this one of them in the middle? I can't quite remember.
One's over by the idea side.
Because right now I'm looking directly at generic.
It's hard to tell what I'm in a game now. Hold on, let me.
No, that's alright. No, don't worry. I'll find it.
Yeah.
I hear running.
Is that you running?
No, that's Scav.
But they're all generally on the same floor. They're all right there.
Is he on your left?
I heard him slightly to my right at the front door. There's avocado. I think I've got avocado already though. Yeah. I know they're all on the first floor. I can't remember quite, like layout wise where the fucking things are.
Yeah, I know one's over near like the escalator by Idea side. And the other one's closer to Goshen. And you got the other ones behind generic.
I come back to you there. I got it.
Yeah, I've gone left there. Down towards the hole in the ground. Or maybe this isn't the hole in the ground, that's not.
From down from top branch should be the hole in the ground.
Do you want to go in the Rasmussen, see if it's been done?
Not really.
Right, I'll go check it out. I'm poor.
Because someone hit the alarms, which means someone hit the power, which means someone's coming in here pretty kitted because they're going for the fucking thing room. Granted, they probably already have it though, so we're at risk of them coming after us at the moment. I wouldn't imagine.
Yeah, the alarm. The alarm.
I'm going to idea side. I've just crossed from along the front. How's your race been going anyway, AK?
Are you running, are you?
No.
I'll do more.
Right, I've got running near me.
I'm at the very front of interchange at the minute. Where are you?
Rasmussen.
So you're up and to my right, I believe.
I can hear him, but I don't know which direction. It's gotta be front.
One second, I'm moving up. I'm almost at brutal. Okay, I got one dead scav here with his torchlight still on.
Feet on wood.
Not me.
Heard a scav voice him up behind me. Coming out.
Careful.
Are you coming back or where are you?
I'm in the middle of the shop, like directly in the middle.
Back in the corridor again?
I'm like onto it.
Is that you fighting a scav?
Yeah, he's in brutal. Go. You good?
Is that...
That's not me, that's not me, that's not me.
Oh, great. I'm dead from behind somewhere or something. I don't know.
Yeah, there's a lot of shooting going on over there right now. Sorry, man. I fucking hate this map. See, this is why I hate this map, because you can't fucking tell where anyone is based on sound. Of course, that's the way I have to go. Alright, there's Dino clothes anyway. Fucking mannequin scared the absolute shit out of me. Right, there's T-Rend. So once I get T-Rend, what shop am I missing? Kojin. Only if it doesn't get you killed trying to reply, AK. Where in relation to T-Rand is Kojin? I think I know, but I'm not 100% sure. Okay, I think I found Kojin. Scare the absolute shit out of me, you cunt. How much is are you in Scavrun, Kuda?
No, mate.
You go and check how much AK-75 rounder drum mag sells for.
I don't have the flea market.
Oh shit, right, never mind. So I'm packing the drum of this thing at the minute because I got it off some scav. We came running in like a tit and got shot in the face. As he deserved. Not quite yet. I just killed the fucking scav. He had a 75 rounder drum mag on him. And there's still people trying to kick the shit out of each other. I think I know where Kojin is. Where the fuck? Where'd my mag go? Tarkov, stopping the shit. Ah, Tarkov load, you son of a bitch. There we go. Okay, I've got a really weird visual bug in my Tarkov right now. I'm going to have to reboot my game and hope no one shoots my ass while I do it. currently see a PS round, like the JPEG for the PS round, in the middle of my fucking screen. Pretty sure I have enough time still. It hasn't started going. The timer hasn't went red yet, so I still have time to like get out. Obviously, it's just I am very heavy right now. I have 2 armors on me. Although I might just drop one because it's only a class 3, so it's not particularly good. It is rubles though. But I'm hearing fighting on around me, and this is making me sluggish, so it might be better just to drop it and, you know, give myself the mobility back. Well, some mobility back. Not that after wipe we're all reduced back down to level 0, we have much mobility to start with. There we go. Drop that. Okay. Alright, let's find my mag that my game dropped for no good fucking reason. Okay, there's Kojin. Can't have this upstairs or on my level. Destiny get out live. Cosion's on idea side, isn't it, AK?
Yeah. Well, Goshen?
Cosion?
Koj? I think so, yeah. Costin, you mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that big clothing store on that back hallway where the escalator is, the idea. Or the, you know, the medical room.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's over on that side.
I just checking so I've got real as my exit and I don't really hear a fucking movement. I hear fighting and I do not want to stick around. And I get back out through this fucking hole I jumped through. I don't think I can. More scavs are gonna kill this fucking place anyway. 10 more scavs. Oh, having so low stamina is a fucking cunt. For most people it's because they can't sprint loads of places really fast. For me it's because I can't fucking creep for like miles. Because that takes stamina. On you fat cunt, you get your shift on. Okay, that was getting nothing in it. Something must have hit already. I leave. I leave. I do like how it shows you your fail hits after a run. But it does that after it shows you the amount of kills you made. It's like, well, if I killed somebody, that was the fatal hit. However many kills I have is the amount of fatal hits I have. Unless Tarkov's means fatal in a way that no human on the planet means fucking fatal. Right, fitness part 1. 2 containers on interchange and 1 on shoreline. That's that annoying ass fucking room you gotta go into. Take your pound of flesh rag, man. You colossal dickhead. Right, Goshen Cargo Manifest, Ollie Manifest idea. I know where the Ollie one is. I know where the idea one is. Cannot remember where the Goshen one is. Mark fuel tanks.
Goshen one's in the back computer offices.
I sort of remember where you have to go to mark them fuel tanks.
Yeah, one's out front by the main highway, and then one's in the back by the Immercom extract area.
Yeah, there's 3 though. I think the one's not we
Yeah, and
fenced
then
off.
one's at the power station.
Yeah. Oh, it's a minivan I'm thinking of. There's like a wee minivan and one of the wee fenced off areas.
Oh, the minivan's easy. That one's in the basement, and then one's on the outside by the USEC stash.
Right. No, I was trying to remember like which. Because I remember I had to go into that week fenced off area for one of the fucking marking things in interchange. I just don't remember which one.
Oh, that's the minivan.
Yellow
see. Vehicles.
Yeah. Rip stop.
Hey, you got mechanic level 2 unlocked?
I think so.
Can you do me a favor? If you do, I need to buy the M-Lock 4.1 inch rail. 1,700 rubles.
Mechanic level 2.
That's part 4.
Yeah. We're going interchange. I'll bring some markers. You shove this up your ass.
Yeah.
Do you mind doing interchange at night? Because I find it safer at night.
Yeah, that's fine.
M-Lock. Where the fuck is the M-Lock? Oh, 2.
Magpul 4.1.
I'm trying to spot it. Where the fuck is it? Sure, it's on level 2 mechanic.
Yeah, should be. Yeah. Says it on the game, level 2 recorded.
Yeah, but a lot of stuff is like hid behind tasks now.
Oh fuck. God damn it. What about the Surefire SF something muzzle brake?
AR-15 Surefire SF3P?
Yeah. Is that available?
Yeah, I've got that one.
Yeah, because I can either use that one for the mini monster suppressor for this quest, or the I can do it another way, but we'll do it that way. You can buy that from me. How much is it?
It's fuck all. I need to bring markers. How many things do I have to mark here? need. See. That's customs, interchange, just killing scavs. So I need 3 markers for the fuel tanks. And don't need any markers for the manifest. I just need to get out live with them. So markers. 2, 3. And bring myself a sleigh wet. Okay, I am ready. Just need some hydration on my guy. Use 10 of that. That get me up to 100. Close enough. Do we have a night run? If you don't mind waiting, I'm going to do a quick scav.
Yeah, that's fine. See, my scab's up too, so. Where
Just
you wanna
let
go?
the thing. I just usually do customs and hit moustaches. So I do.
Yeah, I'm in 17, 16.
I'm just making room for a quick scav run here because I've got a pretty full thing at the minute. Okay, then just sell the rest of this to the traders. I'm literally running out of fucking room every 2 seconds these days.
Me too. I need to find one more broken G phone.
Problem is, it's like, for the most part, it's all actual useful shit. Like, some of it's task-based stuff, but a lot of it's actual good equipment. Surefire, I'll bring that in, you can fire it in your ass. Don't need that. Don't need that. Don't need that. That. Don't need them at the minute. How much does that drum myself from the flea? About the same. Just ram shit you by Jaeger. Do I even have room for a scav run? Stash is just an absolute clusterfuck of kit at the minute. These fuel tanks in here for now. Jesus Christ. Okay, can I hunt any of these fucking stems in for samples? If I can't, they are going to be sold. They're going to be sold because I can't fucking hunt them in. So what's the price in the markets? None. Propital. Yeah, you sell for a bit more in the market. You sell for a lot more. You sell for about the same. The fuck's the green stem so expensive? can on my guy. Might help me a little. Leaves me with like a tiny bit of room.
Hopefully, don't get anything too compact or too overpacked.
Do you know what? Like it would have been a problem only for the the sorting table, which now means you can like go in and just sort it after the fact.
Yeah, that was a nice feature they added.
Yeah, before it, like if you had too much shit in your stash, you just weren't able to do a fucking scout run.
Yeah.
I think they have the sorting table for the scout run. I know they have the PMC run. They might actually have
They
the
do.
scout run, but
Yeah, they have a sorting table for the scav.
scav. My guy's lovely mustache. 05.
05. Right. Oops. Shit. Went too far. Go back up. Back up. Alright.
My guy's got the most tactical kit you can. No face cover, headphones, and a nice porno stash on him.
My guy's got an AK with no buttstock. A suppressor with a prism scope on it, like really. But no buttstock.
Because that's controllable. I
Yeah,
kid.
looking for group.
Yeah. I like how it's like such a random looking kit, and then you have an idea rig on. Like he's like, everything went to shit, and it's the most disgruntled member of staff ever. It's just fucking like, fuck it, I'm taking this stuff. But that's stealing. Fuck with me. I'm the one with a gun. But it's got no buttstock. Doesn't matter. I will fucking run up to you and shoot you.
He's got a Pepper. It's a Pepper 330 too, or 366.
Which, funny enough, is what those guys are doing now. They seem to be super aggressive. Like, you're marked and crushed, aggressive anyway, but even when you're not marked and crushed at the minute, I've had quite a few of them just run at me.
Yeah, me too. It's random spots too. Waiting session start? The fuck? Come on. Are you in game yet or no?
Synchronizing. No, you fucker.
I'm stuck in a waiting session start.
It says for me it's synchronizing with players, but it says 100%. I don't think they understand what percentages mean.
No, I think the server might be fucked up. I had this happen the other day on my scav run. Even alt tabbing and alt F4ing out and coming back, it just wouldn't load me in the raid.
Ah, something's wrong. Go another minute in case it's just slow, or if it doesn't go in a minute, or it'll just crash my game and just leave, and probably dark then anyway and entertain, so.
Christina in Louisiana, and I'm a little skeptical on the tag here, but I will welcome on. And yeah, what do you
I'm Alt
have?
F4. Try it again, see if I get back in there. But
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna work.
Matt Giuliani for 3 years.
yeah, I'll just leave.
And
Go on the regular PMC run.
I'm an atheist also, or a humanist, whatever you want to call me. But I was born a Catholic, raised a Baptist, became a Pentecostal, been homeless since 2013, been abused, been raped. I can read minds. I have the gift of healing. I've brought people back from the dead. Is there any other questions?
Well, we hadn't actually asked any questions yet. I'm sorry to hear about the unfortunate parts of your circumstances, but what do you mean you can what do you mean you can read minds and raise the dead?
I can put my hands on people, pray on them, speak in tongues, and they come back.
Okay, well, I don't have a dead person to try this out on, but you said you could read minds. So how can you read minds?
I don't know. I talk to them. They talk back to me. I tell them what's about to happen to them, and I can predict the future.
Okay, well, predict my future.
Now.
Predict my future.
Predict our futures. I want to be a part of this as well.
I see both of you becoming very rich. Being more powers of illusion than you already have.
More powers of illusion than I already.
What's something that I can test either now or like 5 minutes after the show and be like, wow, Christina convinced me.
I'm not sure. I'm not God.
Well, you said you could tell the future. So I have a deck of cards right here, and I'm going to pull a card out right now. Can you tell me what that card is?
Is it a queen?
Are you telling me or are you asking me?
I'm asking you. I can't. Exactly.
Okay, so you suspect it may be a queen. Is it black or red?
Queen or ace? Give me a second. I think it's black.
Okay, you're right. It's black. It's a 9 of spades. It's not a queen or an ace.
Interchange
And
right
so
now,
you
so
got
not
it right on
playing
the
dark.
50-50 question and completely wrong with 2 guesses on the 1 in 13 portion of it. So clearly you're not able to read the future very well. What other testable predictions could you make?
I'm still learning because I'm
still learning too, but I don't run around claiming that I'm able to predict the future. So is there a testable claim we could
I'm homeless.
Eat out dog.
Angel that's been walking, eating out of garbage cans.
Go on, doggo.
What do you
this
mean
shit.
you're an angel?
Alright. Going to loving night.
Like I said, I was born
Hey,
a
Cage.
Catholic.
You must be a new fella. I haven't seen you about.
I went to Bible college.
Oh, we met
I
yesterday.
went to nursing school.
It was my regular name was regular Sullivan.
My ex-husbands were beating me.
Oh, okay.
And
yeah.
Alright.
I was homeless in Baton Rouge for 3 years.
How you getting on so far?
Beat me from 3 feet away. The bullet did not
pretty
pass
good.
through my body.
Nothing too bad.
So
Yeah.
you said you're an angel.
Burn my scav run, seeing if I die. I do.
Okay.
Seems to be about a 50-50 at the minute, whether someone's going to be a bad scav and just shoot you in the head.
Yeah. No one cares about scav rep no more because it really doesn't punish you very much.
You say that, but you can get some good, really good kit if you have a good scav rep.
You don't believe in God, but you believe in angels because the Bible says
true.
so, and you don't think you're.
I guess just more people don't give a shit that aren't like thinking about it because they probably figure they can just. Because there is like you can
Should I call myself president if I'm
get a chunk by lose a chunk and then get a chunk of it back by doing the vehicle extracts.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking when people aren't caring because they're just doing that, thinking, oh well, I'll just do the vehicle extracts for a while after and not do the job. Give it to like 21, 22, okay, and then we go in. So that should be nice and dark then.
I'm gonna go grab some coffee. Be right back.
Okay.
I'm not seeing anything right off of this hand. Oh, I see my daughter having a child within 2 years.
Look,
you see what happening?
My daughter is about
Boy,
to
I
have
can already
a
hear
child within the next
gunshots.
2 years.
Well, Christina, we're gonna let the call go. We appreciate you calling.
Where are you scavenging?
I'm not really sure what.
I'm on Interchange right now.
So my
I've never scavenged anywhere else unless
if
it's
there's
for.
anything value there.
There's always gunshots in Interchange.
But I'm not really sure that
Yeah.
this is a productive phone call. But we do appreciate you calling. Yeah. All right. That said, sorry,
it's
man.
One of those things. No, it's fine. It's one of those things where, on the one hand, and don't get me wrong, I know how people are going to take calls like this, and I'm never trying to beat up on anybody. Some calls are prank calls. Some calls are people who are confused, and I don't know how to tell the difference. And everything that like if you said, oh well, Christina doesn't believe that. I have no problem believing that Christina believes everything that she said, and if she doesn't, there's somebody else out there who does. And so the way to tell the difference between the people who believe it and the ones who don't are to try to have a conversation to see how close you can get to stuff. And so I've known people, I've lived with people who've been homeless, who've been victims of abuse and sexual assault, and who've been in situations like Christina's. And I appreciate the fact that they're in that situation, but if somebody calls and says, I'm an angel who can predict the future, I'm at least going to see, hey, can we get to something potentially testable? This is not just a let's get people who are mentally confused
Okay,
or
there
whatever
is game seeds on this map.
I'm not trying to mock them at all. I think that
Oh, they're trying to say hi to you in a friendly, generous kind of way.
Yeah, by putting a bullet in the face.
My thing is like since doing the show is that if I have even if it's like a
That's the only way to say hello in Tarkov. What do you mean?
I don't let that intuition just go because you never know. It just could be somebody that's genuinely.
Even VoIP, that's still the only way to say hello in Tarkov. You say, I'm going to be your friend, and then you shoot them in the face. Or else they don't learn.
Okay, looks suspicious as hell. Get away from me.
The other thing is, I think as well, one of the things is people might be thinking, oh, well, it doesn't matter if I have bad karma because I will just kill guys who have good karma and take their good shit. But it's like, yeah, but to do that, you're going to have to deal with the fact that half the map is by default trying to kill your ass.
Pretty much.
And especially at the minute, because, like, the scavs have gotten mean. Like, they're proper fucking dangerous these days. Like, good luck avoiding them until you find a player scav who has good karma that you can kill for his stuff. Personally, I don't like their chances. That's the minute, because they're eating Boston fucking 11.
Let's try Josh in Tennessee. Are you there, Josh?
Yes. Hi, this is Josh.
Hey, you're on with Scott and Matt. How are you?
Hey, Josh.
Hi. Yeah, I just wanted. Actually, my wife wanted me to call in. She's an atheist. I'm a Christian, and
I found a grenade launcher around. Hell yeah, I'll take
she's
that.
really on top
Sell
of
it.
her Bible
I don't think you sell them there.
And so we're always kind of,
I'll
she's
plug it
trying
up.
to disprove God, and I'm trying to prove that.